Welcome back, everyone, to another session of Half-Rate Heroes. Thanks for joining us tonight. Our heroes are right in the thick of it and have been contemplating all week on what they're going to do with the special boon granted to them. So, quick recap. Our heroes are planar hopping in order to save each of the inner planes. They've stopped the feeding off of the Shadowfell and the Feywild. They've gone through the elemental planes of fire, water, and air now, and cleared all of these dangerous shards that seem to be feeding off of the energy of these inner planes. The last one was the elemental plane of air, where they served and aided the genie, a group of elementals with magical powers that are quite effective. If ever you find a genie in a bottle, it's that kind of elemental creature. As per a deal, and to thank them for their selfless service in aiding the city of Acha, the Wind Dukes of Acha have offered to grant the party one wish. And I tell you, it takes them a while to decide what to do with that. So we're going to rejoin our party as they are still huddled up to one side of the temple within the city as they're discussing what they're going to do with this wish. There's no time limit per se on when they make this decision, but it's a benefit and a boon that the Wind Dukes have offered. So take it away, folks. What are you discussing in your huddle?
Mr. Lefcadio, you be saying that you brought it up before that we can get our magical weapons back, you see.
Right, they said that he's in the realm of possibilities.
Well, if we's gonna wish for weapons, that be my vote.
Well, I mean, you can get weapons places. This is a wish. This is magic. This is pure magic. What if we did something crazy and I don't know, set up some kind of contingency where if we all die, then we get brought back to the place where we went wrong and we try again or something like that.
Well, that'd be good, my girl, but wishing that the dwarven thrower, the legendary dwarven thrower would be in my hand, I'd be wishing for that.
I can respect your love for weaponry.
And that's a grim wish, then us. Maybe we could wish for something that would prevent us from dying, whether it be weapons or something else. Because that type of contingent wish might not ever actually come into play if we all stay alive.
And with the phrasing, it would be when we all die. If one of us lives, then nothing would happen.
What if two of us die at the same time? Yeah.
If 4 of you die, then I gotta kill myself, I guess.
Groundhog Day, this entire adventure.
Well, whatever the group decides, I will back you guys up. I think that whatever we decide collectively is going to be a lot more potent than whatever one individual wants more than the others.
Well, ye be abnormally quiet, Mr. Kale. What be going through your elf's brain over there?
Well, there's another member of our party that we haven't consulted yet. And I think if you guys would like to just be patient and wait 10 minutes while I confer with him, I'll get his opinion, and then that will shape my opinion, as it does with everything else.
He's talking about Denier, that god.
Give Mr. Denier a call.
So, yeah, you guys discuss amongst yourselves. I'm going to sit here with some incense.
As Kale goes off, I'm going to lean over to Nos and be like, do you ever think that he just makes up whatever answer he wants and then comes back?
I hope not.
I can't imagine a god would be that interested in what we do over some of the questions we ask.
I don't know. I've met people with connections. You got Lafcadio over here with whoever Firemane, Nobanian, I think his name was. So we've seen that guy, so you know that they got a connection. So maybe.
I mean, I haven't seen him though.
Well, I have.
It's fair.
So that's correct to me, and I'm the one you're talking to. So.
It's true.
Hey yo.
Wampum will walk up to Nos. Since we got 10 minutes, you think you can fill me mug up?
Oh yeah. What you want? You want what do I got? Starts rifling through a pack so you can hear a bunch of bottles clinking.
How about some nice rum?
I do have rum. Here you go. I got rum. Here you go.
And I'll press the digitation and make it ice cold.
Ah, thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
think
Go ahead and call Mr. Denier so I can sit back and relax.
I think we need to get Nos one of those squirty bottles that you have in bars that's connected to like 5 different drinks on a belt.
A holster.
Gotta water my dwarf.
Kale,
Mhm.
what's your communication?
So I'm communing with Lord Denier. 3 questions, yes or no, you know the deal.
You've cast it enough times.
Yes. Question 1. Is prudent use of this wish a necessity to resolving the issues with the White Hand?
No.
No. Check mark. Question 2. Is the ability to glide through solid earth a necessity through assaulting and destroying the crystal on the plane of earth?
Not a necessity.
Okay. Check. Question 3. I didn't have a third question. Is it within the power of this wish to instantaneously resolve all our issues with the White Hand?
No.
I think so. All right, good to know. Just making sure we're not looking past the obvious.
Yes, our campaign ended last week. And we're good to go.
Yes.
No.
So I'll rejoin the group. I'll say, look, we don't need to use the wish to get any sort of items or any charms or mystical powers or set up any contingencies or anything. We don't need this wish at all to resolve the conflict with the White Hand. So I think it might be best used to help some of the others that have been, so devastated by their actions.
Oh, here comes the righteousness.
Well, in particular, back in the City of 1,000 Pearls, you all heard that they were defending a legendary artifact weapon.
Yeah, which he made us pass up.
Yes, because we don't need it. You wouldn't like it anyway. It's not a blunt instrument that can just be thrown around. When we left, the city was in a state of disarray, and their defenses were withered, of course, because a lot of Tritons have fled the city. If we use the wish to help that city out and help bolster their defenses again, and they can stave off any other attack that comes their way in pursuit of that legendary artifact.
Like, how would you help? What would the nature of a wish be that would help in that situation?
I'm not sure exactly how specific we would have to be. Yeah, I suppose the wording is kind of important on that, isn't it?
Indeed.
wish for the city to be restored to its former splendor and glory before the White Hand interfered, then we might just be.
Well, was it not run down prior to the White Hand interfering? They said this had been declining for a significant amount of time.
So we could say we would like it to be restored to its peak of glory and goodly population of Tritons and other water folk.
I like the sentiment. And if that's what you gotta do, then I would understand that. However, I've seen civilizations that embrace change, and I've seen civilizations that embrace fundamentalism and anti change, essentially. And it may be part of the natural way of the species that they should leave and start somewhere else based on the environment around them and stuff. It's like, it's like nature-y stuff,
On top of that, what's the point in
Thank
restoring it to its former splendor? If we fail to destroy these crystals, it won't exist. And everyone in that city will die.
Well, we already know that we can destroy all the crystals. There's only one left, to the best of our knowledge. So,
and what makes you think that our enemies can't recreate these crystals and replace them where we've already been?
Well, if we were to use the wish to bolster the defenses and numbers of the city of 1,000 Pearls, at the very least, they wouldn't be able to establish a foothold there again. But I suppose it is true that they could have been coming in behind us and undoing everything that we've undone. Just like a cycle.
That would suck.
Boy, would it ever.
Yes, it would.
It's possible, Kale, that particular solution might be met in a more mundane way. Myrnos suggested that the thing that they were lacking was people to inhabit their city. Maybe we could reach out to those folks still there from Neverwinter and see if they have anywhere to go home to in Neverwinter. Maybe they want to stay. And if they do want to stay, then maybe Myrnos will give them a home, and it's a win-win for everyone.
I mean, me dwarf clans were driven out of our homelands, and we be doing just fine. So I think that these people can find a new home. They alive.
Mm-hmm. Sure, and it may be that all that they really need is powerful advocates, and maybe not necessarily the cosmic power of an all-granting wish.
What do you think, Taslin?
What do I think? Theoretically, we could use this to go back in time to before the crystals went, if we were specific enough, prevent the crystals from ever being placed, and stop whatever damages have occurred. Alternatively, I personally am a fan of wishing for augmentations or tools to better assist the party as a whole in our future endeavors.
So that first one, going back in time, is that even, like, you guys are the smart ones, is that even possible?
It's not unheard of, but Taslin, have you ever heard of a phenomenon called the butterfly effect?
I have not.
Without getting into a lengthy explanation about the exact verbiage of the term, the gist is that traveling back in time can have even the smallest actions taken in the past can have exponentially greater effects on the future. So we may go back, we may know where the crystals will be placed, but we take some mundane or seemingly, unimportant action that alters the entire course of history and winds up just throwing everything off the rails, as it were. So time travel isn't something that I think we should really mess with too much. It's very tricky, I think. Not that I've ever done it myself, but
I totally agree. The teleport thing just does me a number. Try time travel. I stay away from it.
All right. Well, then the other idea was, Teslin, was items to augment all of us as a group.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Yeah, I don't see an issue with that. I know that would satisfy Wampum's desires at the very least. And if we're strong enough already without the wish at all, and you know, if we augment ourselves even further, then it'll be easier for us to resolve the issues. And if that is the case and we survive, then we can go on to do the good or other types of deeds that we would like to do after this is over.
Now you thinking. That's the righteousness that I like.
Right. All right. Well, then we have to, because the genie, this one genie isn't going to know exactly what we'll need. So we need a way to travel in the plane of Earth. Like I know, Kale, you said that it's not necessary, but I think it's got to be helpful. Like we didn't need the fire resistance as much as I thought we would, but it certainly turned out helpful.
I think in Taslin be more than capable of getting us to where we belong.
I appreciate that.
All right. So travel through the plane of Earth. Travel home, whether that be via the device, other means. Weapon for Wampum.
Mm-hmm.
Nos, a weapon for you as well.
I mean, yeah, that would be an effective tool.
As spellcasters, I think that being able to cast both spells is beneficial.
That would be beneficial.
Am I missing anything?
That doesn't sound like we're missing anything. One for all of us.
All right. Well, then, does anyone want to be the mouthpiece and make this wish official?
Well, I think that's your role.
No pressure.
Well, you just laid it all out very simply. So.
You'll do great.
All right. Well, then, is that what we want to do?
That sounds perfectly fine for me.
Probably not a good idea to wish for one of us to become a Dow for the next slot of this. No.
Well,
no, that is a bad idea.
You be a good-looking one there, my girl.
Thank you. I'd like to think so. Make a good-looking anything.
All right. Well, then I'll say, pardon me, mighty Wind Duke.
Yes.
I think we've deliberated and come up with something reasonable, hopefully.
Okay. Then speak your wish to the universe, and if it be the universe's wisdom, you shall have it.
All right. So there is room for interpretation here. So I'm hoping for your benevolence in working with us in order to grant this wish in the spirit in which it's intended.
Mm-hmm.
No stuttering, Mr. Gale.
All right. I wish for our group to be enhanced I don't know what happened.
Okay. On rare occasions, my headphones decide to go freak out, and I just hear nothing but static. And it was as soon as you said, "I wish," that static.
At least it wasn't the stop stuttering right after.
It's not ominous at all. It's a portentous. All right. I wish that our group collectively is augmented and enhanced in the following ways. We need to be able to travel on the plane of Earth, preferably through the Earth. I reckon that's the most efficient way. My mate Wampum would like a replacement for his weapon. My mate Nos would probably like her weapon restored or enhanced.
So fancy.
We would like to make sure we make our way back to the material plane at some point. And us spellcasters could use a way to enhance our spellcasting capabilities.
Okay. Then, for a moment, it doesn't seem like anything really happens until the air around you begins to just sparkle and shift. Reality itself is being melded and shifted, not only to grant you your wish, but also give you all an understanding of the effect of this wish.
Uh-oh, he stuttered.
So, Kale, in your hands appears a small black ring. It is so dark, it seems like all light is being absorbed by it. This is an improved ring of spell storing, in that it does not store spells, it stores spell slots. Any creature may store any amount of spell slots into it. The ring can store up to 9 levels of spell slots. That is 9 first level or 1 9th level, etc. And as a short rest, or at the end of a short rest, you can pull any amount of those to restore your own spell slots. Not give you more than you can possibly cast, but just restore expended spell slots.
Okey-dokey.
Taslin,
Yes.
wrapped around your neck is an amulet of the plains. The amulet of the plains requires attunement. While wearing this amulet, you can use an action to name a location that you are familiar with. That requires you, I'm going to be specific on this, you have to have been there before. Not, I've heard of the city in another location, or someone else in the group has been to this location. The person attuned to the item has to have been there before. Then make an intelligence check. On a successful check, you cast the plane shift spell. On a failure, you and each creature and object within 15 feet of you travel to a random destination. I determine that. In Lafcardio's hand, a small grey stone appears. It is the Orb of the Stein rune. There's a lot of text in that one, and I'm not going to read everything, but amongst all of its other benefits, you can, as an action, give yourself resistance. Let me just double check. So, advantage on checks and saving throws to resist effects that force you to move. Okay. As in addition, any enemy that moves into a space within 10 feet of you during this time has to make a strength save, or they are also unable to move. You can't be petrified. You can give yourself and up to 5 other creatures that you can see the ability to move through Earth as if it were air for 8 hours. Once you use that again, you can't use it for a short or long rest. Or you could cash all of that in once you don't need to pass through the stone anymore to blend it with either shield or boots. If it becomes shifted to a shield, you have resistance to all damage dealt by ranged weapon attacks. If you place it on boots, then while you wear the boots, you have advantage on strength saving throws and can use your reaction to avoid being knocked prone. Useful little tool. Nos, in your hands, your own glaive shifts. It grows ever so slightly longer, looks a little bit shinier, but the blade itself turns bright red.
Ooh. Ooh. Does it have flame decals along the staff part?
It looks so cool. It doesn't have flame, but when you move it, you still see the streak of red after the blade.
Ooh.
So like it looks like it's giving off fire. It's pretty sweet.
Sha, 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 sha.
This +2 glaive improves your speed and increases your speed by 15 feet. And whenever you hit a creature with this weapon, roll a d20 on a 1 or a 20. Your weapon also triggers a surge of wild magic, as if it were a wand of wonder.
Yay!
And wampum.
Ah,
An axe appears strapped to your back, and it feels for a moment like it's about to explode with energy as you have the blast-ended battle axe. This is a +2 weapon, +2 battle axe. It has the thrown property, but the range is improved somewhat. The range is 60, 120. When you throw the weapon, instead of actually hitting it as if it was a thrown weapon, you can choose to make the battle axe explode at a certain location, whereupon it is treated like a fireball exploding on that point.
hey,
As per the hammer that you had previously at the once you've thrown this weapon, it returns to your hand, and then you can't make it explode again until you finish a short or long rest. Okay. There you go. Your wish has been granted.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
nice
thank you,
job,
Mighty Wind Duke.
Cardio. Nice word, nice word.
The Wind Duke seems to almost buckle under his own strength for a moment as the wind underneath all of you seems to just jolt just for a moment. I need to rest. That took a lot more out of me than I thought it would. May the gods watch over you as you go forth, continuing on this journey. Save the earthen plane. Beware of the Tao, and Godspeed.
Thanks, mate.
So what are you guys going to do?
How
Well,
was everyone feeling after that last fight?
Not great.
I think we. I mean, I could do with a short rest, but I think others would do better with just sleeping it off.
It would be nice.
Perhaps we should rest and then head forth to the plane of Earth.
Sounds good. Do you know how to get there?
I do.
Great. Then yes, that sounds like a great plan. I'm sure there's somewhere here we can sleep.
So you haven't seen any rooms that you can sleep in, but if you'd like to speak to someone and ask for a room, one of the Arakocra will grab each of your hands and fly you all off the palace for a moment.
We still have wings,
It's
though,
more-
right?
Yeah. Did they take them back?
No, true. You've still got wings for a little bit longer. So he'll guide you through the wind to small pockets of cloud that have been hardened to be fluffy little hammocks in the sky. You can sleep in the clouds for the evening.
Nice.
Nice.
Sweet.
It's comfortable, but don't toss and turn too much or you'll fall.
I am unattuning to my Pearl of Power and attuning to this room.
And I am attuning to my Amulet of the Plains.
Okay.
I'm unattuning to my cloak of elven kind. Makes me sad.
Real quick, just for clarification, did you say that the glaive is attached to the Wand of Wonder roll table?
The Wand of Wonder roll table.
Okay. That is, let's see.
It is a handout within Roll20 right now for you.
So it has
If ever it
24 effects as opposed to 20.
Yes, it does.
So I would be rolling a d24.
No, you roll a d20. On a 1 or a 20, you trigger the wild magic.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not going to happen every time, but it'll happen 10% of the time.
Glad I clarified.
Okay. And if it causes you to cast a spell, it is the weapon that casts it. Okay? Casts it at its base level, all of that good stuff.
Okay.
Neat. Okay, so with this thing, you said like it has 9 spell slots in it, and I can use a short rest to get some back.
So you can pour any number of spell slots into it up to a total of 9.
Okay.
And it'll stay there forever until during a short rest you regain any expended spell slots that you've used up by pulling them from the stone. So one day beforehand, you can put in all of your spell slots. If you think you're not going to have to cast spells on one day, you can fill the thing up with however many spell slots you have. And then the next day, you can regain all of them back.
Okay, so like right now, before I go to sleep, I could throw like a 6th and a 3rd level.
Absolutely, and that would be 9 levels worth of slots. And then tomorrow, you can pull back 9 levels worth of slots.
All right. Okay, so I could pick, like I could pull out like a 1st level slot if I want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Word. I'm doing that then.
Okay.
Because we're
Before
totally
anyone
safe.
says, yes, I know that's really powerful. So, you all rest for the evening on the fluffy little clouds. It's a soft night, and it's a good night. Been a while since you've had decent sleeping arrangements, so you all gain the benefits of a full, long rest once you're done. Taslin, you will have had enough time to be able to play with the cube again, if you'd like. So roll an
Yes, please.
Investigation.
That would be my passive investigation of 19.
19, okay. So far, you know
All
fire.
Fire, water, air, earth, and the plane in between fire and earth.
Yep. You now also know the Shadowfell.
Ah, home.
Okay.
Sweet.
Then, when you all wake up first thing in the morning, whatever strange light source gives this place light rises. What are you going to do?
Eat a healthy breakfast.
If you've got food for a healthy breakfast, go ahead.
Sure. And then I will wait for the rest of the party members to wake up.
Which all happens about the same time.
Excellent. Everyone ready to go?
Real quick, just remember, because I'm awesome, everyone gets 10 temporary HPs.
Because awesome.
Celestial Resilience is the awesomeness to which I refer.
Mm-hmm.
And any ideas of what I should look like, since I have the ability to change what I look like when we pop down into the plane of Earth? Or should I just come as I am?
Maybe disguising yourself as a Dao instead of actually being one might be helpful.
All right.
You could, if anybody gives us any guff, you could claim that we are your slaves and you're escorting us somewhere.
All right. What? Can you describe a Dao?
They're. Could I? Should I do a roll for that, Teo?
Have you ever experienced a Dao previously? Do you know what they look like?
Kale has not, no, but he might have seen like a book with a picture or something.
Yeah. All right. So, history check to determine how well your recollection of the details is.
Ooh, that's my coffee. It's
Something.
13 though. Plus,
is it a 13 bouncing inside the coffee?
It was like on the bottom. It's not. It's almost empty. So.
Okay.
You said a history check, right?
That's going to be on YouTube forever. Just FYI.
So 27.
Okay. All right.
Oh, that was a 20 out of my mouth.
Okay.
Make a gif of that, Carl.
On it.
You will remember all the details about a Dao.
Okay.
I don't know if they're all female, but the only picture I have of a Dao is that of a female. Large creature that its skin almost looks like it's made out of earth. Lower half seems to shift and be like a dust cloud in and of itself. Long red flowing robes and usually wielding an enormous warhammer. Plus, I think it has dreadlocks too, which is always cool.
Yes. All that, and just make sure that you look pretty noble.
Mm-hmm.
Very yeah.
Imperious.
Imperious. Yeah, you got it.
All right, I'm just getting into character. All right, and I make myself look like what he describes.
Using disguise self, right?
Yep.
Okay. So?
All right. Anyone have anything left to do here before we go?
I don't suppose they have pickaxes just laying around.
Not on the elemental plane of air. Okay. Nothing really to pick at, unfortunately.
Worth a shot.
Let's see. I will hand her my shovel. I have.
Pickaxe.
Kind of
This
the
is a
same
shovel.
thing. Yes.
They're not the same thing.
Teslin, why do you
Yeah.
carry around a shovel?
Why do you carry around a shovel? That is very strange.
What do
Well,
you have
some-
a shovel for?
Well, sometimes you need to get a corpse out of the ground. I mean, I'm only thinking practically.
What do you do with corpses, mate?
Well, what if I was fighting a vampire and I chased him back to his lair and I need to dig under to his coffin? Didn't want to do it with my hands like some barbarian or heathen.
I find nothing wrong with using your hands.
Do you have a particular hatred for vampires? Like perhaps in a past life you had a terrible run-in with one, and you're out to get him now?
He be talking about him a lot.
I'm gonna give them the most haunted look I can and just say I don't want to talk about it. And I will take my shovel back, strap it with my backpack, and say, well, without further ado, and I'll grab and pop.
Before you do so, Lafcadio, you use your usual ability to disguise yourself. You are able to perfectly disguise your upper half like a Dao, but that whole cloud nature of the bottom half is not under the capabilities of disguise self as you cast it. The ability to shift and change the way your legs look into that of a dust cloud seems to be too much for the extent of the spell.
Would prestidigitation work?
No.
I trust someone mentions that to me. How do I look?
I'm sure. Yeah, if you look down, you'd see your legs are still there.
Yeah.
Does that look right? I don't think I got it right.
No, I don't. I'm not sure. I've never seen one in person, but that doesn't look right.
What if he downgrades it to just being an earth elemental?
Totally possible.
Or what? Are there other denizens of the
Galapter?
plane of Earth that, like maybe like taskmasters or lieutenants to the Tao?
Duragar?
No, they're in the Underdark. What you would find on the elemental plane of Earth are typically going to be 4 different things. You've got the Tao up top. Then you have the Earth Elementals. You may come across an Earth Elemental Myrmidon, which is an armored Earth Elemental. Or the 4th thing is a slave from the material plane. That's pretty much your options there.
All right, Earth Elemental it is.
Do earth elementals talk? Just so I can't. I don't know.
Primordial, I think. Maybe pop up probably.
All right, I'll wing it.
Earth Elemental can speak Terran.
Terran, yeah. That's the one.
Does Lafcadio speak Terran?
Lafcadio does not speak Terran.
Okay.
All right, I have an ear for this sort of thing. I'll just wing it.
Okay.
Okay.
So I look like an earth elemental.
You now look like I would imagine a rock version of Lafcadio. So still a little bit feline, but solid earth. Sounds good. All right, now you pop everyone to the earth elemental plane.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I bet I have to roll 1d20, right?
Are you using the? Oh well, yeah, because the yep.
So we haven't been there before, and we're probably gonna end up somewhere random. Apologies ahead of time, everybody.
In this situation, you're not rolling a d20.
Oh.
In this situation, there are only 3 chances of places that you end up. So roll a d3.
That would be a 1.
Okay. I'm curious as to what you rolled physically, because
1d4 minus 1.
Okay. All right. So what was the number you got? A 3?
A 2 minus
2.
1, so a 1.
Okay, so you got a 1. All right. Then with that 1, as you teleport away, everyone sees in that moment, just as you've normally seen, the pull of magic to pull you out of one plane and to the other. There's almost like a veil of darkness that crosses over midway. Stars begin to appear all around you, disorienting you to some degree, until all of you just suddenly drop as you pop out into midair. Your ability to fly has been lost, and so you drop only about 5 foot as you find yourself inside a large open cave. Tiny little starlights still all around you as you appear to be in a diamond cave.
Oh.
There are tunnels that lead out of here that you can see. There are 3 tunnels, left, right, and right in front of you. Each tunnel is about 10 foot tall, 15 foot wide, and just disappears off into darkness. You can see the little diamonds shining a little bit. There is no natural light in here, in this place. So do you guys have any sort of light source yourself?
Well, I can create one, but I think we can all see in the dark.
Yeah, I think you can all see in the dark. Your vision within dark vision is usually limited to just shades of grey. However, some form of enchantment or magic natural to the elemental plane of Earth seems to allow you to still be able to pick out the presence of these diamonds. So you can't see anything except what your dark vision allows, but you can still see the diamonds and the gems within the stone shine ever so slightly. It's quite pretty.
I would like to touch it.
You're going to touch one of the diamonds?
Yeah, I'm just going to hug the wall.
Okay.
I'm just kind of do wall angels.
Are you going to take a diamond off the wall? Or
No.
while you're doing the wall angels, are you going to
No.
Yeah.
just accidentally
Heslin does
knock
have a
diamond
crowbar
off?
as well.
Crowbar might work.
Grave rob and creep over.
You know what? Just for that.
Okay.
Right. So, crystal shard
Yeah.
beam in the.
No crystal shard beam, unfortunately.
Is there anybody around us?
It seems empty. Like there is no one around you.
Guys, there's no one here.
So this cave and these tunnels, does it look like they're naturally formed, or is it like worked? Like this is a
No.
mining operation?
This cavern itself looks like a naturally formed cavern. There doesn't appear to be too many. There are some, but there doesn't appear to be too many signs of mining efforts in the large cavern that you're in. But each of the tunnels clearly look like they were worked by magic or by tools. They are perfectly clean and straight. A little bit arched, but just because of the nature of the method of mining. It's just large enough for an earth elemental to easily just move through without any problem. What do you guys do?
Well, I reckon taking anything here from here would be a bad idea.
Do you reckon that?
I reckon
Because I
that.
said it before.
Maybe.
I
Maybe we-
specifically said to everybody, don't take anything off the walls or off the ground.
Okay, but what if we go and take care of the crystal business and then come back and then as soon as we do anything, get out of here?
All right, look. All I'm gonna say is it's a bad idea to take anything. All right, whatever. I can't stop you from doing whatever stupid thing you people are want to do.
That's
So-
the truth.
If it happens, it happens, and I just want everyone to know that there will probably be consequences for your actions.
But if we get out of it, I'd like a cut.
We might be able to get him to give us diamonds. Well, before we try, taking diamonds is plan C, maybe D. We focus on the mission first, and then we'll see where we're at after that.
Okay.
We can stick to the mission, but Mr. Lecardio, there be a lot of sparkles on the ground.
I'm not denying that the temptation is not great. I'm just calling to your better self and just say, resist the temptation for now.
My better self has picked this shit up.
We could get a mansion to go with our Thane hoods.
Hey, now you be talking.
Right, we can still do that. But let's take care of the crystal first.
Right.
I'd be agreeing there, but I'd be coming back for these gems.
All right. Mr. Thunderbelly, I imagine we're sort of in your element right now. Can you glean any sort of ideas to perhaps which way would be best to go? Like maybe the cavern's floors are weathered in a certain pattern that suggests that most of the travel goes in a particular direction or something like that. You know about rocks, right?
Yeah, I'd be dealing with your rock head constantly.
Great. So, figure it out, and I'll wave a hand and guidance.
Give him guidance.
Yeah.
Okay. Wampum, if you would like to use your innate dwarven capabilities,
Okay,
which kind of dwarf are you?
mountain.
Okay, so you do have stone cunning.
Yes.
And while stone cunning doesn't, strictly speaking, apply to this, your very nature of just being used to being underground and through the mountains being raised does give you advantage, I would say, on being able to use a survival check to find signs of life within the tunnels. So go ahead and roll a survival check at advantage, and you add a d4 because of guidance.
All right. So that would be a 19, but plus a D4
Yep.
would be 3 more. So that would be a 22.
22. Okay. Not long after you start making your way through the tunnels, you begin to notice a pattern with some of these mining shafts. One of the things that helps you navigate through is that through these singular shafts and tunnels, there has been a straight line, unbroken, of gems that seems to lead in a direction. And in the moments when you've gone off the path that happens to have those gems down it, you've just found that the signs of life seem to be unorganized. But passing back onto a path that has these gemstones still within the ceiling, you're able to track that line and follow it back towards the City of Jewels.
All right, so I'm going to stand in the middle of the hallway and look, and then I'm going to fart, and I'm going to sniff the air. It's that way.
While he's doing this, I'm going to cast Seeming on Kale and I.
Okay.
To attempt to transform us into a Dao.
Okay.
So I'll tell Kale what I'm doing ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
Kale, you and I are the only two that speak Terran, or Primordial. I believe we should appear like Dao and use the rest as our slaves. And I'm doing this hush-hush.
If you'd like to do this without Wampum, Lafcadio, or Nos hearing you, roll a stealth check.
All right. That would be a 9 total.
Okay. I'm pretty sure everyone's passive perception is higher than that. Everyone hears Taslin suggest that Kale and him are your owners, and you are their slaves.
Okay, that's fine with me, but I'm the general.
That is fine. Think of this as a tactical ploy. And I will...
Well, just why not cast it upon all of us?
Because then when they go to talk to Nos or Wampum, they won't know how to reply. And that is suspicious.
Fair
All
point.
right. Well, they're still, if they have no illusion upon them, I mean, just look at them right now. They're kitted out, and
Then I will make them look as if they are in robe. Or,
No. It
in
makes sense for your
tattered
general to have
outfits.
awesome weaponry and stuff.
Perhaps they're gladiators.
Here you go.
Sure.
Do you all have the ability to give us to let us talk the Terran tongue?
I do not.
I can, but it would be to give it to all three of you would be, I think, an undue expenditure of resources. I could, if one of you is addressed, I could give it to one of you at that time, and the ruse would be upheld. But if they decided to address every single one of us in turn, then that would be a problem.
Can you guys talk a little primordial so I can get my tongue, so I can attune to it?
All right. Well, so Terran specifically, primordial is harsh and guttural on its own. You've heard me speaking different dialects before, but Terran in particular, with its earthen roots, tends to be. It's so hard to speak and understand. It's like it's hold on. That's Terran.
All right, great. I got it. What did you just say? Just so I have an idea.
I said that I was currently speaking the greatest tongue known throughout the plains.
Got it. All right. My finely tuned actor's ears will surely carry me through all conversations henceforth.
Be able to duplicate that same sentence over and over again. That's all you've got. Those words. So, the best tongue in all the plains. So,
All right.
I'd just like to point out for anyone new that's watching this episode for the first time, Kale doesn't often put dice in his mouth so much. That's a new development. I hope it's okay.
Just felt inspired after I got dunked in my coffee, totally on purpose today.
So yeah, Terran sounds like you've got gravel stuck in the back of your throat. So it's a very apt description there. All right. So Taslin, you cast
Yes.
Seeming.
Yes. So
Okay.
they have to make a charisma saving throw?
Only if they are unwilling.
Yes.
Right.
So
Is anyone here unwilling to receive the benefits of the Seeming spell that Taslin is going to cast?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Taslin, I'll
Yes.
read out a line of the spell for you after you cast it. You can't change a target's body type, so you must choose a form that has the same basic arrangement of limbs. Exactly the same problem as the disguised self has. Seeming fails to give you the dust legs, the cloud lower half of a Dao. So you can keep the
Alright.
seeming, you can change the appearance.
Yeah,
of-
I'll change
of
us
everyone.
all to be those elementals like Lefcadio.
Okay. So suddenly everyone is an earth elemental. Is that
Sounds
everyone
good.
in the group, all 5 of you?
Yep. I guess, right? That's what we're doing?
Yep.
That's going to go well. Right. So, as all 5 of you, as Earth Elementals now, shift through the tunnels following Wampum's nose, you will eventually find yourself at the City of Jewels. Now, the City of Jewels is similar to the cavern that you just left in that it is one large natural cavern. But shafts and pieces of the earth have been dug out to create rooms and spaces. You can see doorways cut in that look almost like grave cairns that you would see in some of the dwarven grave sites. There are clefts in the rock that create pathways up and down this space, along with bridges that span this enormous chasm. From one side to the other, the 2 halves of the City of Jewels are split by about 100-foot gap of intertwining and shifting bridges. And while you're stood there watching, you'll watch as a Dao and an Earth Elemental will walk along a bridge, stop, and then you'll watch as the bridge itself moves and picks a new location to end as they then pass up the new path towards their destination.
Neat.
It's quite fascinating to behold, and pockmarked all over the place are gems that are specifically enchanted to provide light. So inside the City of Jewels, you do have quite a bit of sunlight. And that helps you to illuminate the lowest level of the city, which is dropped down below your current position by about 50 foot. It's just steps that lead down. And that is where you can see close to 50-something non-elementals. Humans, elves, dwarves, halflings, most of the common races that you would find in the Sword Coast can be seen in the throngs of people down at the bottom. Their clothes are ragged and torn and broken. It's clear that these folks are the slaves within the city. At the back end, where everyone seems to be crowded, not 300 feet away from your current position, you can see a large stone cage has been set up. And an auditorium around the stone cage provides many elementals, Dao, and also noble-looking creatures the opportunity to watch what's going on inside this cage. Fighting. There is gladiatorial fighting going on as we speak. and a crowd cheering and chanting various different names in Terran for the fighters in there. You'll notice as you look, currently there is an Earth Elemental Myrmidon, so an Earth Elemental in plate armor, currently crushing the life out of a halfling.
Does it seem like a fair match?
Nope, not at all. And people are cheering, having a great time. What are you guys going to do as you approach the city, all dressed like Earth Elementals?
I look for the telltale crystal shard beam of light.
Still no crystal shard beam of light.
You guys,
It's going to have to be something more than just vision that will find it for you.
fellas,
Mm-hmm.
I get that we don't have the ability to transport 50 individuals to safety, but if we can just save one of them, can we? Try.
You could buy them.
Or we still wouldn't be able to transport them.
Well, I think we could take one.
One
with us.
extra person with the Rubik's Cube.
How about that new fancy necklace you got?
Allows you to cast the plane shift spell.
Yep. And clean shift spell is how many people? I don't have access to that yet.
You and up to 8 willing creatures
All right.
who link hands in a circle.
I can teleport up to 8 people as long as we have a physical circle made with our hands.
How many times can you use that amulet?
That would be... How many would that be? Once a day? At
So
will.
the amulet of the planes is at will. While wearing this amulet, you can use an action to name a location that you're familiar with on another plane of existence, and you can, on a successful check, you cast the plane shift spell. There's no limit to the amount of times you can use this, though do note every time you use it, if you fail, there's a chance you could go somewhere else.
But if you fail, you could use it again, right?
I don't see why not. That seems really much like an oversight right there. Yeah.
Well, like if you ended up in a pit of lava, you probably couldn't do it again because you'd be dead.
Or I'd have to do it really fast.
Right. Well, yeah, I'd like to save some folks, but again, the primary reason we're here is to get rid of that crystal shard, and it might be easier after we spend some time here to get a lay of the land. But if they're bringing folks from the material plane, maybe we would be best. Investment in activity could best be put to use on the material plane and stopping these folks from getting here in the first place.
Yes, and I'd argue that the most lives will be saved by us destroying the crystal. I agree. I'd like to rescue somebody from the slave pits. Maybe on the way out.
If we can just accomplish one rescue, that will mean so much.
Sure.
While you guys are talking amongst yourselves, still in Earth Elemental form, the Earth seems to shift for a moment. You hear a crack of lightning, almost, as a portion of the Earth just next to you, right in front of the city, seems to just tear open, and 10 individuals walk through. 5 humans, all in regal clothing. You have a male who's seems to be leading the entire group. He's an older human gentleman, long white beard but bald head, wearing a dark-colored robe, and in his hand is a chain That chain is connected to the wrists of 5 individuals, all of which are lizard folk. Around them, 4 knights are walking as guard, and he pulls them out and just immediately starts pulling these 5 lizard folk past you down towards the city. Walking into the city, people just naturally seem to just shift aside, and he's taking them straight towards the fighting pits.
Okay.
So, I guess we gotta find someone who would know about the shard and be willing to tell us about it. Does that sound right? Because I can't see it.
Yes.
Well,
So, ye smart ones, who we be talking to?
well, let's find a quiet spot out of sight real quick. Like head back into the tunnel briefly. And I'll ask Denier first. So if nobody objects, we do that, and I'll go divination it up.
So he be not getting tired of you calling him?
Danae might be getting a little tired of him calling. Just saying.
I assume he wouldn't have given me the power to do it if he didn't want me to ask.
No, he's cool with it.
So
Your neck. Go ahead.
I'll do that. 25 gold worth of incense is going away. And then I'll ask, how do we find the crystal on the elemental plane of Earth? Or, sorry, what would be the best way to find the crystal on the elemental plane of Earth?
Find the Tao whose luck has changed.
Sounds good. All right, everybody. We have to find a Tao whose luck has changed, and that could mean either way. It's ambiguous. So I imagine it's in reference to one of the 5 Tao lords, Anram, Ra, Dahua, Nergek, or Ishtuaru. So scour the city, find any sign of any of them, gather whatever news we can on them, and figure out which one has had their luck changed.
Well, the pit fighting suggests a commercial exchange, maybe gambling. Maybe there is a Tao who is down on his luck in the pit fighting,
or up on their luck.
So you
luck
be saying
exchange.
that, you be saying that he be losing a lot.
Or winning a lot, suddenly. Maybe
So-
because they have a benefactor in the White Hand.
The Tao are there only 5 of them, or are there lots of Tao?
There's all sorts of Tao.
Okay.
But the chief ones to be concerned about are the ones whose names we got, I imagine, from the guy. Myrnos.
Right.
So I say we go find who's the betting agent, and let's see who's been spending a lot of coin.
Sure. It occurs to me that might be a weird question for Earth Elementals to just kind of roll up and ask.
Start with the odds. Start asking around, hey, I want to bet. What are the odds? Who's the underdog? Who's the man to beat? Start with that and then work your way in.
Okay, but still, I don't know that Earth Elementals like us, like we are right now, would participate in that sort of thing. We could go and observe and find out. I honestly don't know. I've never been here before. How would I know? So yeah, let's go down and observe, see if Earth Elementals are placing bets and talking to people and participating as regular citizens. If so, then great. If not, plan B, I'll think of it on the fly. Let's go.
Okay. Stepping down into the lower section of the city, just like you had seen with the newcomers visiting the city, all of the individuals down here, whether they be slaves or otherwise, do seem to just move out of your way. It is fairly common for earth elementals, at least, to be heading through here, and they get people step aside for them. The lower section of the city seems to be dedicated towards the what you would consider to be the dregs of your society. There are pleasure rooms. You walk past shops that clearly sell and trade in slaves. You go past taverns and locations where people I don't know what the term for it is, but everyone outside of it is enjoying the beautiful purple cloud that seems to be emanating from it. Everyone is high and affected by drugs and an assortment of mushrooms. You can go past all of these locations of debauchery until you find and head to the actual cage and the pits. Gliding around the pits is a small, scrawny-looking dusk elf, just like Taslin, who appears to be the bookie. He's moving from group to group of people sat around the cage, taking money and giving it back, making notes, and he's got a bag of holding on his side that is clearly where he's getting all of the stuff on him. He dots around and he's moving at an incredible pace, just quickly whizzing out. Unless you stop him to talk to him, he won't stop for you. I'd like everyone to roll some form of perception. I would even go so far as insight would work, as you're trying to gauge how an elemental is behaving.
16.
Okay.
Perception.
22 insight.
21 perception.
19 perception.
18 perception.
Okay. All of you are able to come to the same sort of conclusion. Earth elementals are the servants and the physical power. They only react when a Dao or a humanoid next to them gives them a command. They only perform that command, and that's it. They don't act of their own accord. They're not engaging with and speaking with anyone, and they're certainly not making bets themselves. They may be performing the tasks needed for the bets, so they would regularly be moving and giving coin or receiving coin from the little bookie, or they're entering into the cage to fight.
Okay, so
I think we need to drop these disguises.
or at least one of us does.
Tired of looking like a rock.
So I had cast disguise self on myself to look like an earth elemental, and then Taslin seemed us to all look like earth elementals. Would I know whether or not casting disguise self again would occur over the seeming, or would it be under the seeming?
I would say that the disguised self would be under the seeming. Just simply because it's your thing, and then someone did it on you, and I would think that your thing is below.
Right. So it sounds like it's an all or nothing deal.
Seeming cannot change an individual's vision, as far as I understand it. So if you want one of you to drop and no longer be an earth elemental, all of you except Lafcadio would be.
Yeah. But with the spell, one person can't stop. Everybody has to stop.
Yeah, everyone would have
So
to
it would
stop.
cancel on everybody, and Lafcadio would be the only elemental.
Yeah, because he's currently disguised as an elemental, disguised as an elemental.
Tricky.
Right. Well, what if we just kind of rolled around and posted up at establishments where people are sharing gossip and just listened for a while?
All right. I'll look to wherever the material plane is hanging around and see if I can pick up any gossip there.
I'm going to go to the far side, and as I'm going, I'm going to cast message on Casey and whisper under my breath, I will be keeping in contact with you via these messages.
Casey
Who's
receives your
Casey?
message. Nos does not.
Oh, sorry, Nos.
Spell slot is wasted.
It's
Oh no, message is a
freebie.
cantrip.
Cantrip, yeah.
Somewhere on the plane, there's a person that stops and.
Where's your message?
Oh, okay.
Now, when you were describing that individual, you said Dusk Elf, but you said like Tazlin. So you mean Shatter Kai or Dusk Elf? Because that's a thing from Curses Strahd, I think.
It is. Dusk Elf is a colloquial. It's like it's just a different name for the elves native to the Shadow Plane.
Okay.
As far as I understand it, the Shadow
Gotcha.
Fell. So grey skin, white hair, clearly not a drow,
Okay.
because they're very similar. But this
Right.
one looks like they've never encountered any warmth in their life. I know, sad, right? So, going around trying to listen in, get information, learn some rumors and whatnot. You'll need to use your skills to the best of your abilities. So, Lafcadio, which of your skills will you be using?
Well, as an amazing actor, I'm gonna pretend to be this earth elemental, just passing along very discreetly, just, from here to there, not causing any trouble.
Okay. And which skill will that be? Is that your performance, your deception?
Deception.
Deception. Okay, roll a deception check.
23.
23. Okay. Anyone else collecting information through some other means?
Yeah. I'd like to go around and look at people and generally see. I guess I don't know. You could just say listening in, but I don't want to just be listening in. I want to observe people and see what sort of stuff they got on them and try and determine based on how they're dressed or what they're doing, where they might be going and what sort of stuff they might be dealing in, and what sort of people they might be dealing with. I want to use investigation if I can, but that
Okay.
sounds more like an insight thing. But
Sounds
if you're
like.
cool.
Either way, yeah. Nos?
Okay.
Thoughts?
I'll actually go ask the bookie what the odds are, what the official list of odds are.
As an earth elemental.
Yeah. Because I'm not going to be exchanging money or anything. I could be doing this for a master. He doesn't have time to talk about it.
Okay, do you speak Terran?
Do I need to?
Just you would know that earth elementals only speak Terran.
Oh, they only speak Terran.
Yeah, they only
Okay.
speak Terran, and that's the problem with the disguise, amongst a few other things.
Yeah, never mind.
I'd be a very educated earth
But
elemental.
you could have, when I sent the message, you could have replied with a message back asking for how to say that.
And attempt to speak Terran despite not being able to speak Terran? I don't know. That sounds like a worse idea. No, I'll just hang out and, I don't know, be somebody's bodyguard or something.
Okay. So what was your investigation check, Kale?
22.
22. Okay. Anyone else collecting information?
Yeah. Would anyone stop me if I was going up? I'm assuming there's stairs to go watch the fight.
You won't know if anyone would stop you until
Okay.
you try
I
something
will
and they stop you.
walk towards the way to go watch the fight.
Okay. And you go and sit by yourself in the auditorium, or do you just stand outside the cage?
Probably just stand there as if I was waiting for a master, like they said, wait for me to at the pits for me to show up. So I'm just gonna kind of stand there and watch, see what the fighting for the fights are like.
Any particular skill you're using in this occasion?
I'll use, I guess, perception would probably be the best one, or insight. Because I'm just trying to see the mechanics, if it's always material planar versus elemental, or if it's elemental versus elemental, that kind of deal.
All right, roll it.
That would be a 15.
15 total?
15 total, or my passive, which is a 16.
Okay. Right. Wampum, are you doing anything during this time?
I'm getting tired of looking like a rock, but I'll continue to stand around and look like a rock.
Okay. So you and Nos kind of stand together, looking like rocks. Sounds good. All right. So, Lafcadio and Kale, you both do your investigations, your checks, deceptions, and whatnot, and you come to the. You start to hear a few rumors and whatnot. One of the clear things that you get is that those individuals that that Kale had named off, you'll hear their names. You'll hear them again regularly. You'll hear Anam, Ra, Dahwa, Nergak, and Ishtuaru. These are the names of Dao families that pretty much run the entire city. And each of the families, from the rumors, don't get involved in the fighting pits. They keep themselves separated. However, one family that runs the fighting pits has begun to get a little bit more involved lately, and that is the Ishtuaru family. They run the place, and so if you ever do anything against the rules, which is usually influencing the match in any way, through any means, except providing a fighter, then you will have to answer to the Ishtuaru family. They've begun to get more involved in the fights, in that they've become more strict on that. In the past 5 days or so, there has always been a Dao of that family next to the cages watching the fights regularly to ensure and enforce that every single fight follows that rule, which is not what they usually do. People often are lamenting that used to be more fun when you could possibly try and get away with it, but you can't anymore. There's no chance.
Would we get any information on the events that caused this change to happen?
There doesn't seem to have, as far as people are aware, for that investigation check, no slave or no material planer seems to understand any particular provocation. It just suddenly started happening, okay? The games got a little bit stricter. Nothing triggered the event. Taslin, with your, you said you would leave and then go and no, you stood outside. So as you're looking at the cage, one of the Dao will actually approach you and in Terran investigate. Where is your summoner?
I will reply with waiting. Waiting for summoner inside. Or they are inside.
They are inside where?
I will point inside the pits as if they're watching.
Who is your summoner?
Oh boy. I will roll a deception check, and I'm going to try and make up a name.
Okay.
So
I mean, I did say some names
Yeah.
before.
Mm-hmm.
There was Ishtaru, which are usually there.
You don't know that.
You're right. You're right, I don't. So I rolled a whole whopping 12
For a deception.
for a
check?
deception. But I will just make up a name like Atharak.
So they will roll insight on that. I used to know the Atharak family. Are you due to enter the pits?
I will shake my head.
Shame.
Just say no.
Okay. He is going to step away and start looking for your summoner.
All right.
And investigate. So someone's going to discover that you are lying. And you know that. What are you going to do?
I am going to... how many people are around where I'm standing, like, looking at me?
There's maybe 30-something people within the auditorium watching the fights, but they're mostly focused on the fights. Their passives might notice you, and then you've got 50-something slaves behind you, moving from building to building, performing tasks for their masters.
All right. So I will turn around and walk to a location that people are less likely to see me, and then greater invisibility, and walk a little bit further. And as I'm walking out the door invisible, I'm going to message Wampum and say, I'm sorry, someone talked to me, it's a Dow. I'll be outside hiding.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go back at him. I'm tired of being a rock. We're all tired of being rocks.
Okay. So you turn yourself invisible as a earth elemental. That's fine. So what are the rest of you doing? You've got the information about... so you got the bookie that you can talk to. You know that there is usually an Ishtuaru family member that seems to be drastically, suddenly enforcing all the rules.
Are there a lot of just random people from the material plane out here?
Yes, but never alone. There are small groups of material planers that do travel in this particular direction quite often, and you'll see small groups of folks gather together. Usually, they've brought a fighter for the pit, or they've come to bet on the pits.
Okay. All right. So I imagine we all get back together somewhere.
Okay.
All
except for one.
Hey, before you start your intelligence stuff, Taslin said that he was discovered. He's outside.
Okay. Sure. Well, let's go find him. We'll just go meet up with him, so we're all together. Is that cool?
Okay. So after a minute, before you guys get a chance to start looking for him, his greater invisibility will end, but you all still look like earth elementals. Now here's what I want to know. How are you going to pick out Taslin elemental from all the other elementals?
Well, I mean, I would be staying probably within 120, 130 feet of the cage. Not the cage, but the pits, so that I could message them as I see them wandering out. So
Okay.
just have to point a finger in their direction up to 120 feet, because I know them.
Well, how do you know which one?
How would you know that it's them?
Yeah.
Well, it probably wouldn't work if... Oh, you're right. Well, it wouldn't work if I'm not familiar with a elemental that's not you guys, right?
We're the only pack of 4.
Are we?
I imagine. I don't know. I mean, if they work
That's
as a
fair.
servant, they go back and forth one at a time. So we are moving as a group. So
That's fair.
If that's good, then good. If not, I got a remedy for this problem.
If all you're relying on is the fact that you guys are moving as a group of 4, I'm going to have Taslin roll a perception check to see if she can tell your group of 4 apart from, on the off chance there happens to be other earth elementals that go. So, Taslin, roll a perception check.
All right. Wow. Luckily, I rolled high. 19 plus 6, so 25.
25. Okay, you'll be able to pick out the group of 4 elementals that don't look like they know what they're doing.
Perfect.
I'm a natural elemental.
Yes, you are.
You're in your element right now.
I move so elementally.
Okay, you together. What's the plan, folks?
All right. So you can discover Taslin. Whatever the being Earth Elemental thing is going to work out for us, because we can't talk to anybody. We'll go back to sort of the original plan, except this time, Lefkayo, I think the best that we can do is to have you disguise yourself as an Earth Genasi, which are generally half human, half material plane thing, half Dao. So the description of the Dao I gave you, just give yourself like rocky skin and you're big and buff and strong and stuff.
Right.
And then I can cast a spell on you so that you can speak any and understand any language for an hour.
And Wampum, you and I stand here and look pretty.
I'm tired of being a rock.
Me too, buddy.
All right. And cover story is we're here to participate in the pits eventually.
Wampum, don't your people come from rocks? I heard that dwarves are born out of rocks. Is that not true?
I got a pair of them between me legs.
That's not what I meant, mate.
Are they really like calcified, like hard as
Stop.
All right.
rocks?
Stop.
Hey, let's continue on with the story. Okay.
I'm trying to learn things about
No.
anatomy.
Learn in books.
Right, all right. So I'm an Earth Ganassi. I look rock and buff. And I talk the language
excellent
at whenever Kale deems it so. All right, then what are we going to do? Oh, I suppose I should share the information I overheard. I don't know if it jives with what you overheard, but I heard that one of them fancy names that you said before, the Ishtuaru, they're in charge of the pits and they became more strict in a timeline that matches with the changes that we'd expect them to match with.
Yes. So, our only lead right now, or the only person we can talk to right now, I think would be the bookie that we saw. So, go and question that person about stuff.
What about the? Because I got the impression that there was like an Ishtuaru lookout, and that's the guy, either himself who has started acting different, or works for someone acting different. Maybe you can get inside his noodle and see what's up with him.
Sure, isn't he watching over the pits right now?
Right.
I need to get within 60 feet of him.
So can we do
Yes.
that?
After you guys spend some time watching the pits trying to identify who might be this person, I'd like perception checks again. From anyone or everyone.
20 for me.
14.
Okay.
18.
20 for Taslin?
Mhm.
Okay. So Taslin picks up on the fact that the Dao that came over to speak to him earlier is still walking and around the cage, but clearly appears to be patrolling the cage.
I will lean over and point him out. That one over there. He's the one that talked to me. He looks as if he's patrolling.
Oh, because we think that's the guy, huh? All right. If we can find some excuse to get within 60 feet of him, I can force him to make a wisdom save.
Right. Well, I can have a chat with him.
Sure. All right. As we're starting to walk up to him, I will lightly tap Lefcadio on the shoulder and cast tongues on him.
Okay. So this Dao is patrolling the fights as they're going on. Right now, there is a match that is fairly quite tense. Started out with just two Earth Elemental Myrmidons going at it together, but eventually through the fights, each Myrmidon has been broken up bit by bit to the point where now the armor has fallen off and it's just Earth Elemental versus Earth Elemental, and everyone seems to be really excited for this particular fight. What do you say when you approach this Dao?
Good day, mate.
Good day.
I'm told that you're the bloke I got to talk to about learning about these pit fights and what the rules and regulations are. Like, I'm not from around here, but I want to get involved in all this. So I understand that there are rules, and I don't want to run afoul of them. So could you tell me what needs to, like, if we wanted to fight, if the folks I represent wanted to fight, what would we have to do, and what would we want to avoid doing?
You bring your own fighter, which is either yourself or someone that you bring. Once they are inside the cage, you are not permitted any sort of influence over your fighter or the opponent. You cannot speak with, you cannot cast spells to aid, you cannot affect the match in any way. Failure to comply with these rules will result in your exile from the city.
Between you and me, do you ever catch anyone trying to cheat?
And I'm gonna, at this point, try and read his thoughts.
Okay, he's got to make a wisdom save, right?
Correct.
Okay.
DC 17.
Roll a wisdom save for this Dao. Proficient in wisdom saves. He rolls a 12.
So I can read his mind for the next minute.
You can. Right now, all he's thinking about are the fighting pits and making sure that, excuse me, that he's thinking through the rules and the instances. Lafcadio asked if there is anyone that was caught cheating, and they said, we have from time to time caught someone cheat, but not in a while. Not for weeks. In his mind, he's thinking, well, we haven't caught anyone.
I've heard that the folks, I don't know if it's the folks you work for, or it's just other folks around these fights, have become more observant regarding these things very recently. I feel like there's a story there.
Roll a persuasion check.
Persuasion 19.
Okay. He'll tell you. Well, more a security reason than anything else. We have had an influx of extra visitors and combatants within the fights. We felt it was for our own safety and for the good of the economy to ensure we keep a close watch on the fights since that began to happen. In his mind, he's thinking, well, while we're making it look like we're being more stringent, Philok can get away with it.
All right. Can we get away with it? Am I closing in on a minute at this point?
Close to.
All right.
Is there anything else that Lafcadio would ask?
I'd be mindful. So I'm mindful that of what Kale was trying to do. So I'm always looking at him for cues to see if I'm running out of time, anything like that. So if I don't get that, I'll continue asking questions.
I'll just step in something that my time's about up. I'll just kind of poke my head out from behind Lafcadio and in Terran say, I suggest that you trust in all of us in this group implicitly and answer any questions that we have. And then when we're done, you just forget about us forever.
Casting the suggestion part of the the spell. Okay. And there's no he's not immune to being charmed, so there's no. Oh, okay.
I mean, he can't.
Yeah.
It only lasts 8 hours, so the forget about us forever thing, I imagine, would just wear off after 8 hours, and then he could freak out and do whatever he wants, but we'll be long gone.
And so his whole demeanor just seems to relax a little bit around you. At first, he's a little bit shocked that you just kind of poke your head out the side. Still disguised as an earth elemental, right? No, that was
No,
right.
yeah.
So suddenly you, and then, okay, sounds good.
Great. So who's Phelok? Tell me all about Phelok.
Oh, Phelok, the youngest of the family, recently found himself capable of ensuring he could fix one of the matches every day. And so we've beefed up security to hide the fact that we allow him to fix the fight for our benefit.
Okay, sounds profitable. Doesn't really concern anything that we give a shit about. Why?
If
what
you
is it?
want to watch, he'll be watching the fight. Well, he'll be influencing the next fight that happens.
Why is it that he can suddenly get away with this? Just because you're letting him, or did something happen to him?
Oh no, he got his hands on a magical pickaxe that allows him to control earth elementals once per day.
Oh, where did he get that from?
Oh, we don't know.
Okay. We're looking for a special crystal that emits some strange light. Have you heard anything about that out there somewhere?
There are many crystals.
Yeah,
Lots of them give off light.
This would be a new one that was brought here by someone from the material plane. It's not actually from this plane of existence, and it should be like sucking away earth power and stuff.
I mean, no, there's been a lot more unexpected cave-ins over the past couple of days, but no knowledge of any particular crystal that someone brought in. That doesn't happen. People usually take crystals out.
Right? Sounds weird. Do you know of anybody in the city that would be privy to that sort of information? Is there some sort of like historian or something like that?
The Nurgak family control the mines. They'd be the ones to speak to.
Family. All right. And if I were to go speak to them, we're good friends. So,
Yeah, good.
That's great. But if we were to go speak to them, they don't really know us that well. Is there anybody in their family who is more amenable to speaking to strangers?
I mean, if you wanted to start mining, you could visit. You could go speak to Kalen Nergak. He frequents the tavern just over here, and he'll point to the tavern down in the lower section. He controls the mining efforts, and if you have people to mine, and you have things to mine, you must get a permission from him, and then you can go out and claim whatever you find. except his feet, of course.
Right, of course. All right. And is there anything we could do maybe to gain his favor? Anything we could do to, grease the wheels of industry a little bit?
Well, he. I mean, not really. He doesn't take bribes very well because we have everything we need. If you promise him a pretty sweet cut of your mining efforts, he might be more amenable to you. Possibly.
Okay. And do you think anybody else outside of your family knows about Felix's pickaxe?
Oh no, we keep that very, very secure. No one knows about the Felix pickaxe. I
And
probably even shouldn't be telling you.
Oh no, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
and the fights that he is using this pickaxe for, are they all targeting gladiators from a specific family or a specific owner?
Oh no. He usually only affects whichever match usually has the best odds for the day. He uses his pickaxe to fix the odds and then makes all the money.
And which fight is he fixing today? The next one?
The next one, yes.
I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna go bet.
So if you go catch the Dusk Elf, you look like a Dusk Elf still. Well, a Shadow Kai. So he'll be a little bit surprised to see you because he doesn't often get Shadow Kai here for these purposes. But you'll be able to easily find that the next match is those 5 lizard men versus 1 Myrmidon.
I will put
And
my...
what would usually happen, the odds are in the favor of the lizard folk simply because they completely expect the lizard folk to fail and die.
Well, I will bet on the lizard men.
Okay.
30 gold.
30 gold. Okay. If the lizard men win, you'll get back 300 gold.
Perfect. And then I'll go back up to join the group.
Okay.
All right, while he was doing that, questions continued. Actually, no, I think, does anybody else have anything they want to ask? I think that's good for us to get started.
Jocelyn,
Yes?
take 250 gold of mine and go bet like you did.
All right. I will.
Hey, who? We're betting?
Of course. I mean,
Is it just a bunch of earth elementals still? What's the-
it is 5 lizard men versus an earth elemental.
Single earth
Odds.
elemental?
Odds are the earth elemental will be the one that loses.
Oh, okay. Then,
And we can use that money that we gain by winning to perhaps save more of the slaves. You have 10 seconds to decide.
well, I'm trying to think, and I'm trying to get away from earshot of anybody as I say this. I take Taslin aside, and I say, is there any way that you can actually get me into that fight to ensure a win? You can turn us into rock people. You could probably turn me into a lizard person, right?
I could, but it specifies 5 lizard people.
And we
And,
can remove
and we
one.
make less if it is discovered by any effects that it was rigged, and then we don't make any profit.
I'm not even thinking about the money here. I'm trying to figure out how to ensure that the lizard guys survive. This is messed up, and I actually saw them.
Mhm.
I don't like
You
the concept
could
of them.
potentially just ask if you can get added to the fight. You have full control over the DAO that runs the fights.
Nobody seems to like this idea, though. Yeah, I don't want to rock the boat.
Okay.
All right, so I'll take the 250, go back, and add that to my previous bet.
He's intrigued. That was quite a bet placed. He seems quite excited, though, because obviously you're going to lose. 5 lizard folk are going to lose against that earth elemental, and he'll be up the money.
I will head back that way, and I will go watch the fight.
Okay.
Great. So to finish our conversation, while they're off doing that, after I asked them if they needed to ask this guy anything, they'll just like wandered off to go make bets.
Kale. This guy who manipulates the fight.
Mm-hmm.
The Earth Elemental is supposed to lose, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, we did bet money on him losing. You want to find out?
Well, it wouldn't make for good profit if he did as expected and won.
Look, we're taking up a lot of this guy's time. All right, he's got a job to do.
Cool. Finish with him, and then we'll talk about this other thing.
Great. Okay, so, sir, I have no further questions for you. You've been very helpful. You're a really good friend. I'm glad we had this opportunity to catch up. I'd love to let you just get back to your work. And just between you and me, if you need to find me again later to talk to me about anything, I stay on this plane in disguise. My real image, my real look is that of a tall, blue-skinned, green-haired Triton gentleman named Doug Dimmadome.
Doug Dimmadome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Triton.
Yep. You know, because my brethren, they're not really into this whole betting on slaves thing, but you know, I gotta make money somehow, right? You know what I mean?
Okay, Doug.
Thanks. So yeah, just later on, if you need to talk to me about anything, just ask for Doug Dimmadome the Triton.
Okay, so I'm assuming your intention for that is he'll still forget about all of you now that you finish your questioning. And then 8 hours from now, when the spell ends, he'll remember everything and go looking for Doug Dimmadome.
That's what I would like to have happen, yes.
Okay. Fair enough. We'll see what happens.
All right. Okay, bye. Let's leave.
So he forgets everything about all of you and goes back to work watching the fights. The next match is going to start in about 20 minutes. What you'll watch continually as the two earth elementals are just destroying one another. Eventually, one of them wins, and the crowd goes wild. There'll be a moment where they clean out the pits before the next one starts. So what did you guys want to do?
I'm just going to recline and watch.
We gotta find this guy, right?
Yeah. We're gonna sit here and watch a game now? Is that
No, I don't want to
okay?
watch this.
Okay.
This is messed up.
All right. Well, we should probably all stick together. I don't, whether you watch the fight or not won't change the outcome. So.
But since they're living, we can buy their freedom with what we win.
Are they going to live after this?
Some of them. Maybe.
It would be great if I could just get down there and insure it.
Did you ask to join the fight?
I didn't know that you could do that.
I mean, I'm sure they'd let anybody just fight. Why not?
Right, but we don't want to spend our time trying to save these 5 when we got to get that crystal.
Yeah, and I got a good lead on it. So.
After we deal with the crystal, we can save all sorts of people. But let's get the crystal first.
So which lead do you follow? Do you stick with the guy that just randomly a couple of days ago got this shiny new pickaxe and has been using it to gain a whole ton of money? Or do you follow the line of the actual mining efforts and see if anyone has noticed the crystal's location?
That one. Number 2. Okay. So yeah, I'd like to go to wherever there's a bunch of miners and maybe ask them first before I find this Kalen Nurgek person. Start talking to them, but yeah, I just like to question random ass miners, ask them if shit's going. Or Lafcadio can question them because he only has an hour. to speak Terran.
Okay. The miners typically are usually going to be the slaves. So getting yourself in to talk amongst slaves that would be willing to share information about their mining efforts is going to be a delicate process because they might not be allowed to talk about their efforts. So it would require persuasion check, Kale, to be able to just simply not Kale, sorry, Lafcadio, just simply to be able to persuade any slaves to give you any information about their mining efforts.
Say, Might, persuasion 12, Might.
It's very tricky to be able to get people to openly talk. 12, you get shunted by most people. 1 or 2 people will listen to you. What do you want to find out from them?
What do we want to find out from them, Kale?
I'll ask them if they've seen any weird crystals giving off light, or if they heard any rumors like that.
Hey, when you guys have been down there, toiling, you seen anything weird? Like
I mean,
crystally? Like
I saw a weird crystal once. It grew in a circle.
Damn it.
Is that weird? I don't know, Kale. Is that? Do we want to check out that weird crystal this guy saw?
I'll ask them if they've heard any rumors about the source of all the random cave-ins, or any glowing crystals that just showed up one day, something like that.
What do you guys know about these random cave-ins and glowing crystals and everything that started happening like a few days ago?
The cave-ins have been terrible. The the Nurgax have been quite unhappy with what's been going on.
I can
Mining
imagine.
efforts have dropped. Yeah, mining efforts have been really bad lately because of it. There were a few cave-ins, and I think 15 miners have died since the cave-ins began. Now, dead miners due to cave-ins does sometimes happen, but I've been here a while, and most of the cave shifts are controlled by the Earth Elementals and the Tao. These ones aren't controlled by them. And so they're a bit unhappy because, hey, they're losing people they weren't planning to lose.
Is that all happening in different places, or in like one place in particular that seems to be like the epicenter of all this chaos?
Ooh. There's been a lot of cave-ins that we've known of, that we've heard about. Most of the caves west of the city tend to fall in, but they're spread out in like a couple-mile radius. You don't want to go out there; it's dangerous.
But what if I did? What if I did want to go out there? What kind of precautions should I take?
Well, you'd want to go with one of the Tao. You'd want at least either the leaders or an elemental to move the earth for you to keep you alive.
Sounds sensible.
Yeah. The earth elementals sometimes can predict the shifts of the earth, give you a bit of warning. Sometimes.
About how far west are we talking? Like weeks of travel? Or...
I don't know. They usually happen within a couple days of here, a couple miles, but the tunnels, they wind back and forth. Who knows how long? You could be lucky. There could be a tunnel that just seems to go where you need to go and be there within a day. Or you could be unlucky and find yourself in a shaft that spirals and take a week to go to the spot you need to go to.
Kale, this guy seems very well informed. What else do you want me to ask him?
I don't know. That seems like enough. We could probably talk to the Nurgak family about, maybe getting a guide, or we can come at them from the angle of, we can solve this problem for you because you're losing out on merchandise.
Right. Thanks, Mike.
Okay.
You've been a load of help. Carry on with the mining, you know. Try not
Tell him.
try
Tell
not
him
to
we were
die.
never here. Tell him to forget about us.
And if anyone asks, we were never here.
Okay. While that's going on, the next fight has begun. The lizard folk versus the earth elemental. The earth elemental absolutely decimates and crushes all but one of the lizard folk. Each of the lizard folk were given spears and spiked shields, and they did pretty well. But when it got down to one lizard folk and the earth elemental, the last lizard folk went into a bit of a rage, jumped on top of the earth elemental, which then suddenly the elemental froze and dropped to the floor and shattered into hundreds of pieces. And that lizard folk is hailed as a great warrior, and the bookie looks very unhappy as he has to fork out a lot of money.
All right, I'm gonna go collect my money. Yes, Wampum.
Go get the money.
All right, so I go right back down there and I go to the bookie.
So, hey, you and I, we're similar, right?
Of course.
How did you know to bet on them?
I make it a motto to always bet on the material planers. They can surprise you.
Roll a deception check, Taslin.
That would be a 18.
Total?
Yep, because I've got a +0.
Okay. All right. For security reasons, we need to take a few details before we pay you back, clear the money and all that. Where do you hail from?
The Shadowfell.
That's a very large place. It's like me saying I'm from here, the Earth element, the plane of Earth. Where in the Shadowfell?
Well, I am originally.
That's a touchy subject, mate.
It is, but I will go in depth about where I am from.
Okay, so you'll tell him everything.
I mean, I'm just gonna be like, this is where I'm from, and I've been there a while.
Okay. What's your name, sir?
I will say Taslin.
Any other name? Any other way to? In case we need to get a hold of you later for logistical reasons.
Oh, of course. That is the only name.
Okay. You can pick up your winnings at the cage tomorrow. Okay.
I'm gonna cast a spell.
What spell are you gonna cast?
Geos for keys.
That takes how long to cast?
Oh, you're right. It takes 1 minute. So I guess I will move aside, and then while he is talking to other people, I'm gonna just command to give me my winnings and forget that he spoke to me.
That's not gonna work. So you're gonna spend a whole minute performing a magical ritual, right? Is it a minute? Yeah, it's a minute. Performing a magical spell. Verbal mutterings for an entire minute.
Yeah. I mean, how noisy is this lobby? I mean.
Okay. I'm gonna let you think about what you're about to attempt. Okay. All right. I'm gonna be generous here, and
all right.
You're about to mutter a spell for a minute.
Right.
The creature has to stay within 60 feet of you, and he's going to be darting around the auditorium, so you're going to be on the move, moving with him. You'd have to make a stealth check. Not only that, you're trying to charm an elf.
You're right.
Which
I
is
forgot he was an elf.
Faye has advantage. Would you like to try this?
No, I'll go back to Wampum, and I'll inform him of the details and how he suggests we move forward.
Okay.
Oh man, just the visual, man. Like you're having a regular conversation with this guy, and then all of a sudden you just stop and just.
All right. as our party try to decide whether or not they're going to follow the instructions and collect their winnings tomorrow, as they're going to go question the Nurgax for more information, we're going to take a short break, okay? So join us in a little bit as we go hunting for that crystal. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us after the short break. So we've had a drink. We're all ready to go. So the betting ended, and just as you were expecting, the Earth Elemental did fail at the last moment. It looked like the lizard folk managed to get the upper hand, but didn't. What are you guys going to do now that you know that the Nurgax are who you need to speak to get permission to go out mining? Or you could, obviously, you could just go out there and start searching the mines west of the city. It's a possibility. What are you guys going to do?
Question number one: do we see the bookie paying off anybody else?
No, he's making a. Well, if you would follow him and watch him, you might be able to spot. Roll a perception check.
All right. Would you like one from both of us or just from Wampa?
Whoever's taking a moment to watch him.
I'm watching.
Yeah.
A big old 9.
And I've got a big old 16.
Okay. No, you don't see him paying off anyone. Okay.
I reckon we ought to find them Nurgax folks.
Let's go.
Go
All
find some
right.
nuggets.
So you've been told where to find him, or at least Kale has. Kale's been told that you can find him inside the tavern. They usually run the tavern, or not run the tavern. They frequent the tavern, and that's where miners go to work with them. And so, as you head into this space, the tavern itself is much longer than it looks from the outside. There's very little light, and a good portion of the tavern in here is shadowed in darkness. So it does require dark vision to be able to see. As a result, you don't find too many of the slaves past that point of no light. That's where the regular denizens and some of the more suitable individuals for dark vision tend to stay. And that's where you'll notice the single Dao sat at a booth with a whole host of maps on his table, and periodically, every minute or so, someone comes over, makes a deal with him, does a bit of a trade, and then walks off. The individuals that are doing the trading, doing the work, appear to be those taskmasters that you've seen that control the slaves. So they'll go, make a deal, come back, grab their slaves, and go out. Or come in with their slaves, drop them off in the front of the tavern, let them have a drink to calm down, relax, treat them well, and then go trade in what they found.
Kale, mate, should you want me to go talk to that guy, or what do we want to do here?
You're muted.
Yeah, go talk to that guy. Present yourself as our master, and suggest that see if you can find out if he knows where the source of the cave-ins is coming from, if he knows anything about this crystal, and let him know that we can help him. And if he needs something from us in return, hit me up, because I got information he might be interested in.
Right. I will slide my way into his booth.
All right. As you do so, you'll notice that the maps and the documents on his table are magical. In fact, one of the largest things on his table is looks like a map of the surrounding area, and you can see tunnels that seem to connect with large open spaces. But every few moments, you'll watch as a tunnel will close and move or shift. This is a constantly shifting map of the surrounding mining tunnels. You slide into a seat. He takes one look at you. Earth Genasi. Been a while since I've seen an Earth Genasi.
G'day. The name's Lafcadio. I hear you're the
Greetings,
man to talk
Lafcadio.
to regarding mining concerns.
Yeah. You don't exactly look like the mining type. You got some strong hands working for you.
Aye, that I do. And we've got interests in expanding operations here on the plane of Earth, where my ancestors are from. Obviously, I've heard there's some dangerous mines out there out in the west. However, so I'm a little leery. Is there anything you could tell me about what's going on out there?
Well, there's nothing a denizen of the Earth plane can't handle.
Right, I'm not
Sure.
worried about me, obviously, but my hands are less sturdy. Like, I don't want to have to replace them every week. You know what I mean?
Well, there's not really much I can say. There's not a lot of danger in them there tunnels. We keep a good close watch over the tunnels and the paths. You can see my map. Everything looks nice and clear. There's no one in this tunnel coming up here and watch. It shifts. See? We know exactly what's going on, where to go. We know when they're going to shift. You'll be fine. You just don't go to an area where we're planning to make a change. That's all.
Do you, so I understand, like, I need your permission to go out there and, mine. Is that,
Yes,
That
that
right?
indeed you do. And you're going to need my information to know where to mine. You're going to waste your time to go out to somewhere that's already been mined.
I'm curious, the nature of these agreements, are they just like gentlemen's handshake agreements, or is there paperwork, or how does this all come together?
Right. Well, this is the deal. No crystals can leave the plane without my family's notice. We know and we can track down any crystal that leaves this plane without us first bidding it farewell. So you mine anything, you come and present it to me. I take a cut. I wash my hands of all of yours, and then you can take them with you to the other plane or wherever you're headed.
So it's magic.
Yeah, it's magic.
So, has anyone ever tried to get away with just,
Yeah.
taking things and not giving you your fair cut?
Of course they try.
What happens to them?
Oh, we find them and we kill them.
So even
Sure.
across the plains, you can track these things down. Is that right?
We have a knack for it.
Good to know. Good to know. All right. Well, if we wanted to be, get down to business, to be the most bang for the buck, where's the
All
most
right.
lucrative mining to find?
How many strong hands have you got?
Well, right now it's just like an exploratory effort, so I didn't bring everyone with me. I've got some folks down back in the bar, but if you could tell us about where we should go, I'd like to take a look before I commit, heavily.
All right. There are a couple spots you could head to. And he'll push aside some of his documents so you can see the map clearly. Look, we are here, and you'll see the city of Jules. If you go out the mines and head to these certain locations, the best and prime spots for mining right now is east of the city. There's a couple fresh veins that were just discovered recently, and still plenty of gems in them.
So, mate, I mean, you're talking to a cousin practically. Are you shooting me straight? Are you shooting me straight, mate? Because that's not what I've heard. I've heard all the actions out west.
You heard? Who'd you hear that from?
You hear things here and there.
Whose knuckles do I have to break for that information?
I'll keep my sources close to the chest, mate. But what's going on out west? Come on, tell me. Shoot me straight, cousin.
Well, all right. They have been fairly popular. A lot of action has been heavy out there, but also a lot of people have gone out there to go and mine it. You're gonna be with all of the other people. You don't, my friend. You do not want to be mining where everyone else is mining. It's not gonna help you. You want the fresh spot. You want the new location. The spot that is going to be hot in 3 weeks' time. That's where you want to be, and that is out east.
Listen, mate, I know there's something going on out west. Now, it might not be piles of diamonds that we could mine, but I know something's going out west, and I think it's affecting your business. And I, in addition to mining, am a problem solver, so to speak. And if you have a problem out west, I think we can come to some sort of arrangement where we can solve that problem for you. And everyone would be happy.
Persuasion check.
Persuasion. 21.
All right. Maybe we've been having some problems out west. The problems we've been having have centered around the fact that we can't control the earth slides anymore. We don't know when a cave is going to drop. We don't know when the tunnels are going to change. They just happen randomly. I don't want to send you and your families out there because you might be lost. And if you're lost, there's no hope of me getting any return from your efforts, and that's just a waste of my time.
Well, it's no cost to you, though, mate. If we go out there, there's no lost effort or time or resources on your part. If you never hear from us again, you're out nothing.
All right.
So what if we do this? What if we go out there, find out what's causing that problem, fix it, and then on our way back, there's just me and my mates. There's 5 of us total. Whatever we can carry, you just let us leave with that. How's that sound?
All right. But as I said, we don't have no power over the areas west of here. So I don't know what you'll find out there and what you will have to face on the way there. The tunnels are breaking up all the time. They're shifting constantly.
Right. Well, can you point us? Is it localized to a specific location?
To a degree, yeah. Most of these cave mining efforts tend to be around this point. And he'll point on the map. There is a small cave that has closed itself a little bit. There are tunnels that move between it and the city that do connect this small spot, but they're shifting very quickly. All the other tunnels shift every couple hours or so, and it doesn't shift as much. But that one is shifting every minute or so, just the tunnel is changing and then a new one is appearing that connects it to another area and so on. So this is the spot. It's about 5-6 miles directly west of here. But the tunnels, depending on which time you go, you might find yourself, it's going to take you 8 miles to walk there.
Right. But generally in this direction.
Yep.
So when you guys are working on, new tunnels and new mines and that sort of thing, do you have any tools or instruments that you use for navigation?
We do, actually. We have little tools that help us home in on the city. Little items that are attuned to the location of the city that will always lead you in that direction. It'll point in a direct path. But the other method that we usually use is any mining efforts, we always leave at least a trail leading back. So if you come across someone else's tunnel, you can find the way back.
Could I rent one of those devices from you?
Sure. You got 75 gold?
Yeah, I've been actually spending a lot of gold lately. Yeah, I have 75 gold I can part with.
All right. You give him the 75, he'll hand you this little item that more or less just looks like a nail stuck to a small metal bowl. And as you move the nail around, as you move the bowl around, you'll notice the nail keeps pointing towards the center of the city.
Neat.
Just don't lose it.
Right. All right. Well, anything else going on out there that we should know about?
I'm afraid with the nature of what's been going on, I don't know what's going on out there.
Well, worst comes to worst, we'll come back and tell you what it is. But I'm optimistic that we'll be able to solve whatever the problem is, and then we'll have a fruitful partnership going forward.
Hopefully. Careful out there.
You got it, mate. I do the traditional Ganassi handshake.
You know the traditional Ganassi handshake?
Like a regular handshake. It's
They've got it right. You play rock, paper, scissors.
But it's rock.
You always end on rock.
That's right. So, all right. Good day, mate.
All right. All right.
Kale.
Explosion, it's always better than rock. Anyways.
All right. The guy, he's directed us in a direction that way. And I have my little rock thing that can give us the ability to travel through the rock in the earth, so we won't have to worry about the tunnels. I have this little tool that'll navigate us back to the city if we need it. He has no idea what's going on out there, so I think we have everything we could possibly hope to have. Is there anything I missed?
Can I stop being this rock and go back to me gorgeous self?
I think you haven't been a rock for a while.
Yeah, we dropped that a while ago.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
So,
beautiful.
yes, you can. Yeah. All right. Did we catch wind on any information on whether or not there's some sort of library or museum or something in the city that I could cast Word of Recall at?
Not in this city, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, I got it set up somewhere else anyway. Okay, yeah.
Oh, and by the way, I heard from this fella that they have some sort of innate elementally way of tracking when diamonds leave the plane.
Mm-hmm.
And the folks who do so without clearing it with him first, without getting his blessing, are hunted down and killed. But I have arranged that if we are able to successfully deal with whatever's out there, he'll let us take whatever we can carry.
All right. I mean, that shouldn't be a problem because I've told everybody several times now not to take anything or bad things will happen. So this isn't new news. It's good to know what the exact consequences are. Their death. So as long as everybody heard that, it will be
But
fine.
you said something about being able to take whatever we can carry.
Yep, that's what I said.
Once you've completed the task.
Once we've completed the task.
Easy.
Sure. All right. One other thing we might want doesn't sound like something we necessarily need, and I hate to get us caught up in political stuff.
Then
But
don't.
okay, let's go.
And we can collect our winnings tomorrow.
Okay. So you guys go heading out just due west.
Specifically in the direction that he indicated.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll use my the rune of the rune of the Stein, the orb of the Stein rune is what I'm using
Mm-hmm.
to give us whatever amount of time we have to head in that direction post haste.
With the ability to be able to move through the stone, though not necessary, it certainly mitigates any sort of risk of the cave-ins. So you follow a path straight, and before it turns, you'll feel a bit of a tremor. The earth shifts around, but thankfully, you guys, blessed by the orb of the Stein rune, it just seems to close in on you, and you're able to move through without any problem. So you just keep heading west. Eventually, you'll start noticing that those earthquakes and those tremors are happening more and more frequently. Tunnels are closing and opening right in front of you. No elemental creature in sight causing these changes to happen, but definitely occurring. As you begin to make your way closer to it, you'll get where you was expected to be about 4.5 miles. You're close, only a couple 100 feet before you get to this space, and the shifting just seems to abruptly stop. From this point on, within so far away from it, there seems to be absolutely no earthquake shifting. Kind of like in the eye of the storm, there's a silence spot as you get there. As you're following this direction, roughly approaching where you can almost feel the power that's feeding off of the earth around you. Now, the stone is changing its shade slightly. You guys see through dark vision, so everything's grey, but now it's becoming a little bit lighter grey rather than the dark tones of the earth. Yep.
I'm gonna just pause before we continue going forward.
Mm-hmm.
All right, mates. In the plane of fire and in the plane of air, the crystal had some sort of control over a big, gigantic threat.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like the wisest course of action was to go for the crystal. So I'd like to suggest that maybe it's the same thing in this case. And if anyone has any other ideas on how to approach this, I think now's the time, because I feel like we're getting close.
Mm-hmm. No, there's definitely been a pattern, and that is it.
Indeed.
Right.
Just keep it
The
up.
real question is, how is it controlling these?
We'll leave that to the philosophers.
Well, it really would fall under more of a particular science, I think. But yeah, sure. What you said.
Right. All right. Well,
Well, before we continue, I'll make sure I cast Aid. I'll do 4th level on the 3 spellcasters.
Does that replace the temporary HP? No.
It does not. It increases
Okay.
your max
Yeah.
by 15.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever we runs into, I can keep some busy. If the rest of ye focuses on the crystal.
Okay.
right. Oh, and with the fancy new weapons, just let's if we're fighting the crystal, Try to use
Don't hit it
mundane
with 'em.
weapons. Yeah.
Okay. So, as you all follow the tunnels, you are heading in a straight direction. It is definitely ahead of you. You can almost feel a pulsing in the earth as the area around you is being fed on ahead of you. You can tell that the crystal is directly ahead of you, straight what would be eastwards on the map that I've moved you all to. But as you do so, you hear a tapping on the rock. I don't think any of you can see that far, but a voice calls out, "You shouldn't be down here."
Are
Why
they saying
not?
were they saying it in common or Terran or?
They are saying it in common.
Says you.
Says me, I am the protector of this shaft, and I have ensured that only I have access to it. You are not permitted down here, sirs.
Well, we here
And
we
leave.
stand here.
Let me see your papers, mate.
Is there no way I can peacefully encourage you to leave this place?
Well, it depends. Let's compare notes. Maybe there has been a misunderstanding. I was told to go straight west, and here I am, and I didn't mean to interrupt whatever you're doing. But like I said, let's compare notes. Like, who did you talk to?
If you came here for gems and treasure, I could give you treasure, and all the treasure you could imagine, and you could leave now,
Well, let's see what you got.
successful without having to put any effort into it.
Let's see what gems and treasure you got.
So this individual will step out of the darkness, appearing in front of you. It is a Dao, except instead of having a big, huge warhammer in their hands, as most Dao do, this one has a shiny new pickaxe. They open up a bag of theirs, and they point it out to you. It's a bag of holding, filled with gems and diamonds.
My eyes do the anime glittery eye thing.
There is hundreds of pounds of diamonds and rubies, sapphires, all the precious gems you could ever need for your little lives. In this bag, I will give you the bag if you leave now.
And why is this a bribery coming out? What you trying to protect?
Oh no, this is not bribery. This is me trying to save you the effort of mining in these dangerous tunnels.
So is that one of them fancy bags that holds lots of stuff?
Yes.
Can you
Yes.
empty it out? Because I think that's the way that we would be able to verify the contents of said bag.
Rather than emptying it out, he's going to put it on the floor and open the mouth of it so you can see down into it without actually dropping it. See? Lots of gems. It will be yours. In fact, ties it up, leaves it on the ground. Don't even step away from it. Please, leave me to my work, and you can take these gems. They've already been cleared by the Nurgax, so you don't even need to worry about them tracking you down either. Take them and go.
Well, see, we be hearing of a much bigger gem, one that be glowing.
Oh, there's no gem like that here, I'm afraid. Nope.
Insight.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll insight checks.
10.
19 for one of them.
That's gonna be a lot.
11.
29.
Got an 8.
I feel it in my Ganassi bones that there's something just right behind you, I reckon.
Everyone that rolled an 18 or higher would know that he's not telling the truth.
Oh.
There's nothing here. Nothing for you, anyways.
Ye be lying, Mr. Genasi.
I'm not a Genasi. He's a Genasi.
Oh,
You're a genius.
I'm gonna take that bag.
You take the bag, you leave. If you take the bag and don't leave, well, I don't want that to be a thing. So please, if you take the bag, you leave.
Well, look, you said you were working. You were doing some work. Maybe you could use some help. We came all this way.
No. I don't think you need to help. It is just for me. Just my task. And
Well,
my
God-
task alone.
I've got the bag, and I've put it
Yep.
in my things.
Okay.
Would traveling here have constituted a short rest at any point?
Not moving, no.
Okay.
You have to stop and take a rest.
That's
and you
fair.
walked straight west.
No, that makes sense. All right. Well, then I'm gonna try and burn my last channel divinity on reading this. That was mine.
So he gets to make a save, right?
Wisdom save. Yes.
Wisdom save. Okay. Does that fail?
Sure does.
Then he chooses to succeed.
Yeah.
The person succeeds on the save. Are they aware of what you just tried to do?
Let's see. Success. You can't use this feature on it again until you finish a long rest. On a failure, you get surface thoughts during that time. No, it doesn't say that they know anything.
Okay. So they're unaware of the fact that you just caused them to use up their legendary resistance.
Well, I burned one, so that's good. I'll just look at them like.
Okay, you have the bag now. You can all leave. Yes, go. But now.
Wampum will whisper to Nos. You ready?
Yeah, I have no idea why they're beating around the bush like this.
Are you here willingly?
Yes.
Are you sure? Can we help you? Like, is someone gonna like off you if we?
No. You can help me by leaving me alone.
As soon as Kale started to say that sentence, I'm throwing my axe.
Okay. We're going to roll for initiative then.
I rolled high.
And the Dow rolled low. All right, so I have a 23 for Nos, a 22 for Wampum, a 16 for Lafcadio. What did Kale roll for his initiative?
10.
A 10. Good, strong 10.
Solid.
And what did Taslin roll?
I've got a 19.
Okay. I'll just add you to the turn order. All right. As Wampum is about to attack Nos, you can see what he's doing. He's pulling the hammer back, ready to throw it. What do you do?
I'll rage and charge, I guess.
Okay. Go ahead and charge.
Bloop. And I will swing my amazing glaive of wonder. Probably miss. Is it 15?
15 misses.
Okay, that's cool. I got another shot. 19.
The 19 will hit.
Awesome. For 12 slashing and 8 radiant.
Okay. That'll definitely hurt. 20 points of damage. Okay. Anything else from you?
I will kind of edge around this away.
Okay. Wampum.
5, 10, 15. 25 will put me there.
Okay.
And I am going to throw for a critical. That is a 31 for
Double check that. Your critical damage seems to show that you've rolled 2d8. This axe doesn't have the extra d8 for being thrown.
Okay.
So your critical should only be 1d8.
Gotcha. Let me change that real quickly.
Okay. In the event, we'll just take the first d8 that you rolled for that crit. So 17 plus the 5, so 22 points of damage. Then, right?
Okay.
Okay.
And I want him to make a DC 17 Wisdom save.
Okay. Which he succeeds.
Okay. And my second throw. 30 to hit.
Will also hit for another 16 damage.
Slashing.
Okay.
And is he carrying anything?
His magical pickaxe.
I want him to make a DC 17 strength check.
She fails, but will choose to succeed.
Okay.
Is that a strength check or a saving throw?
Strength check to draw. I'm trying to make him drop that weapon.
Is it a check or a saving throw?
Let's see. Disarming. It is a. I'm sorry. It's a strength saving throw.
Okay. So yes, he chooses to succeed.
Okay. Third attack. A 17 to hit.
Misses.
Okay. I am going to action surge.
Okay.
Another 30 to hit for 17 slashing.
Okay.
And go ahead and make me another DC 17 strength save.
Another failure. Third, choosing to succeed.
Okay. Second attack. I am going to use a die. For another 8 on top of 17, which give me a 25 to hit.
Okay.
For 12 slashing.
That'll hit.
And that's 4.
You've used 5 superiority die so far.
I have used 5. Okay, then I'm done.
Okay. Because that's your limit, isn't it? That's all 5 used up.
5. Yep.
Okay.
But attacks, you have 6
Yep,
attacks, though, right?
I have one more attack.
Yep.
And that one will miss. It's a 16.
Okay. Little miss. All right. Taslin.
Yeah. I'm going to cast Black Tentacles, and I'll draw the little line. 15, 20. So centered right down the middle of him. That 20 foot covers escape, and to get him. And then I will move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 to the corner of the room.
Okay. Anything else?
That will be it.
Okay. We have an earth elemental that will glide out from behind some stone.
I'll poke it.
And you'll poke it. Go ahead and poke it.
That's critical. Ooh, 26 points of damage.
It's 26. Okay. Anything else? Well, that was your reaction to hit it. So the Earth Elemental is then going to slam against Nos twice. That is a 23 to hit.
Yep, it hits.
Does the Glaive of Wonder do a magical effect because it was a crit?
No, it's
No, it's whenever it hits, I roll or she rolls a d20 on a 1 or a 20. It has an effect.
Okay.
18 bludgeoning.
Okay.
Second attack is a 13 to hit. Okay. Lafcadio.
Can I use... So, I see that Teslin's tentacles are going around.
Yep.
Can I use my ability to move through the earth to travel under those tentacles?
Yep.
All right. So I'll use my feline agility for 60 feet. So I'll get on the other side, and then I'll emerge over there.
Whereupon, once you get over there, you should be able to see that not only is there more earth in front of you, but there is a shaft of light coming down a tunnel just south of your position. There is a bright light visible.
All right. So I'll call out, "There's a light over here!" And... if I'm gonna hold a spell.
Okay, what spell?
Charm monster. If I see one of these monsters coming towards me, then I'm gonna cast it.
Okay. So you're not concentrating on anything else right now?
Correct.
Okay. Then, after your turn, sure enough, a creature will appear out of the stone, having walked from the stone north of you to in front of you. Go ahead and cast Charm Monster. It gets to make a Wisdom save, correct?
That is correct. My spell save is 18. My DC is 18.
Okay. It's a 6. It failed.
So because packed slots are just at the 5th level, so I'm going to see if I can charm both of these guys. I don't know, is it between 30 feet between me or 30 feet between them?
It does so with advantage if you or your companions are fighting it. So it would have actually rolled a 19. I'm assuming that succeeds on that one?
Yep.
Right, the other one rolls a 20. Both succeed.
Perfect! Just like I planned it.
Right, then as it stands in front of you, it is going to try and hit you. That is a 27 to hit.
That'll hit.
Followed by a 23 to hit.
Both hits.
Okay, as both of these two large fists just crack into you, you take 30 points of bludgeoning damage.
Great. Love it.
Okay. Kale.
All right. I will get up in the mix here, sort of, kind of. I'll get a little bit closer, and then I will shout at the Tao preacher style with the voice of command and say, "Drop!" So it has to make a whiz save, or drop whatever it's holding and end its turn on its turn.
Wisdom saves. Haha! 25.
Does it make it with advantage?
Against spells or other magical effects.
Oh, okay, yeah. Dang. Alright, well, here I am, everybody.
Hi.
Okay. Anything else from you, Kale?
You?
Okay. The Tao
Can,
is going to cast a spell.
can he make a reflex save first because he's in the tentacles?
No, but he can make a dexterity save.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Okay. So that's a 9.
He does
What
not
happens when he
succeed.
fails?
All right, so he fails. So he takes 3d6 bludgeoning damage, and he's restrained until the spell ends.
Okay.
So he's gonna take a whopping 10 damage.
Okay. That's fine. And he doesn't mind standing where he is, because that's an okay location. But he is going to cast a spell.
Counterspell.
Okay.
And
Roll
I
a...
will...
What level are you casting counterspell at?
I'll cast it at a level 5.
Okay. Just double check the level of the spell. I need you to make a spellcasting ability check.
Perfect. Spellcasting ability, that's my spell attack or my modifier.
It's just D20 plus your modifier. Intelligence if you're a wizard.
Okay, so
If
that
you're
would
a
be a
wizard.
19. 14 plus
19 in total?
Yep.
Okay. You successfully counter the spell. All right. Nas.
You good, Lafcadio?
Yeah, I reckon.
All right. I am going to first go at the Dow.
Okay.
That's a miss. It's a 1.
Yeah, that'll fail.
That's another 1. I got a half attack. 29.
That'll hit.
That's 12 slashing on top of 7 radiant. Oh!
Ooh.
Ding, ding,
Roll
ding.
a D100 for us.
How?
Oh, to 1.
Did that? No.
You rolled one D100 by the looks of it.
I did. I got a 1.
Okay. You cast slow as a spell. And you would cast it on the creature you were attacking. So just to pull up the slow details, I believe it gets to make a save. You alter time around up to 6 creatures of your choice in a 40-foot cube within range. Each target must make a wisdom saving throw or be affected by the spell. Okay, so you target it on this Dow. It's got to make a wisdom save. It's used up all its legendary resistances already. That's a 20, so it succeeds. Okay,
How about
so
the
no
other-
effect there.
The other elementals.
Yeah, we'll say you can have it affect them. 4 and 6. So they become slowed. So those 2 creatures become slowed.
It makes up for those 2 1s. Usually.
Their speed is halved. They have a -2 penalty to AC and Dex saves and can't use reactions. All right. Anything else from you, Nos?
Action surge.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep going after. No, I'm gonna do a little bit of back and forth here. Hit the Dow first, then the elemental behind me, and then the elemental again with the half attack.
You can't make the half attack without using the bonus action to do so.
That's right.
Yep. Okay, so still 29 to hit the Dow, crit to hit the elemental behind it. So the Dow takes 12, the elemental takes 24. And those are 2 hits.
I'm done.
Okay. Wampum.
All right. I'm still attacking the Dow.
Okay.
First attack will be a 24 for 15 slashing.
Okay. That'll hit.
Second attack is going to be a 28 for 17 slashing.
Another hit. The Dow's now looking quite worried.
And the third attack is a 21 for 12 slashing.
Okay. Anything else from you, Wampum?
I am staying right where I'm at.
Okay. Taslin.
Yeah. I am going to cast Toll the Dead on the Dow.
Okay.
And so that's a cantrip, so 3d12 damage I have to roll. Oh, he just has to make a whiz save, 17.
Okay, which he failed. Go ahead and roll 3d12.
Sweet. That would be a whole whopping 14.
Okay. Anything else from you, Taslim?
I will move 5 feet to the right and end my turn.
Okay, the Earth Elemental behind Nos will attack. It only gets to make one attack because it is currently slowed. That is an 18 to hit Nos.
Nice.
Okay. Lafcadio.
So I can't see what is 30 feet in front of me, but I'm gonna go into the earth and try to pop up 30 feet ahead instead of. So I'm trying to take a shortcut. Is what I'm trying to do.
Yep. Sounds good. The creature can't take reactions when you move away from it, so you should be capable of moving inside. You find yourself still inside rock.
Was that?
So you can't see anything.
Was that 30 feet? Yeah, it was 30 feet.
It's 30 feet. No, it shows to me that you only moved 25.
Oh, all right. So then I will move 5 more. Ha!
And now you can see. And sure enough, there is the crystal right in front of you.
So I'll yell, "Found it!" Okay, so I just used my movement, so I can still make attacks.
Yes, you can.
All right, so I'll use my crossbow and start shooting that thing.
All right, go ahead and fire.
So hand crossbow, boop. So 31, it's a crit. 28, and with my bonus action, critical fail. And
Okay.
so 11 and 11, so 22 total piercing damage. It's not a magical anything.
Nope. Okay. Anything else from you, Lafcadio?
That's it.
Okay. Shards and pieces of, shattering. The shard begins to shatter. Okay.
Got it.
The earth elemental that had previously attacked you has been slowed, and as such, its movement speed, its burrow or movement speed, has been halved to 15. Thankfully, 15 will still get it within range to hit you. You can't see the creature as it's still in the earth, but it'll hit you, so it hits you at advantage. That's a 20 to hit Lafcadio.
Hits.
Okay. 13 points of bludgeoning damage, and it ends its turn still slowed. Kale.
I will. I guess I'll try tolling the dead on the Dow.
Dong.
Boom, bang on my shield.
Okay. Wisdom save from the Dow. 19.
Crap. Then I will get my mirror out, check myself out, cast Sanctuary on myself as bonus action, and then drop 5 feet into the earth. And hopefully hope they don't see me as I move 25 feet, like right underneath the Dow.
Okay. The Dow is still restrained, is it not?
Yep, so he takes another 10 damage.
Okay. Fair enough. The Dow, in its current position, is going to... Yeah, it's not going to bother casting any spells because that's a waste of time around you. So instead, it's just going to try and hit Nos with its pick. Its magical pick. That is a 27 to hit.
Yes.
Okay.
Ouch.
I need you to make a strength check.
Strength check.
Yeah, you can roll athletics if you're proficient
Oh,
in
okay.
athletics.
Right. Yeah. 18.
Okay. You
Wait,
find
I'm
you don't
raging.
get-
27.
Okay. Doesn't matter. You don't get knocked prone. But you will, however, take 16 points of, this is supposed to be piercing damage as the pick hits into you.
Ew.
Second swing. Natural one. Okay. Nos.
Yeah, I'd like to hit it back, please.
Go ahead and hit it back.
There's a 29, a 21, and then back around with a 23.
Okay. All three of those will hit,
Awesome.
and none of them trigger any sort of effect. But Nos, you kill the Dow.
Good.
How do you want to kill the Dow?
Oh, I will
Those
stick.
3 attacks.
Okay, so first one slams it on the upper shoulder here, creates a crack right there. Second one slammed right in the hip right there, creates another crack, and they're starting to feed towards each other. And then the third one is the glaive haft sticking into its chest, and then I give it a twist, and then it breaks apart.
When the Dow dies, its body just disintegrates into crystalline powder, dropping the pickaxe it had in its hand.
Kale, diamond dust.
Oh, and then I'd like to turn around and stare at the elemental behind me. Like, you're next.
Wampum.
I'm going to move up to there and attacking the elemental
Okay.
for a 14.
Against the elemental, now that it's slowed, that'll miss.
Okay. The second attack is an 18 for 10.
Hits.
And the third attack is another 18 for 10.
Another hit.
And I'm done.
Okay. Taslin.
I will cancel my spell. So goodbye to my tentacles. And I will... How big is the pickaxe?
It was sized for the Dow, so
It's a giant.
its handle is about 5 foot long. It's basically a giant scythe right now.
All right, so I will go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And then I will do Blessing of the Raven Queen to go another 30. 5, 10, 2 right here.
Okay.
And then I should be able to see the crystal, correct?
If you
So-
can see it on the map, then you can see it.
Excellent. So then I'm going to cast... I'm going to upcast my Scorching Ray at level 6.
Okay.
All right, so that's 4 additional rays. I get to roll a whole bunch of d20s. Probably easier to do it on roll 20.
Probably.
Oh,
It doesn't really matter. Just do the rolls to hit, and we can roll all the damage afterwards.
Whoops.
If you ever want to duplicate a roll you've just made in roll 20, you can just press the up key, and it'll populate the chat with your last roll. And you can just keep pressing up and enter, up and enter.
7.
Jeez.
That should be 7. Yep.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 managed to hit, but I think you've only rolled 6 attacks.
Oh.
There we go. So 6 hit.
All right.
So whatever damage a Scorching Ray does, multiply it by 6.
Perfect. Roll 6 times 6. 20 damage? Seems awfully low. No, I did that wrong.
How much is it supposed to deal?
It's
2d6
2d6 damage per ray.
Yeah, so roll another 66.
All right.
Okay,
There we go.
another 25. All right. The crystal begins to just break, lines spider web all over its edge. It's about ready to burst.
All right, and that's all I can do.
Okay. Earth Elemental that is next to Nos will hit Nos. Or at least try to with an 11. That'll miss. It'll end its turn. Saves from the slow. Lafcadio.
So I'll take a step away from the wall that's trying to kill me.
Okay.
And I'll yell out, say, Kale, you want us to save this one for you so you can, like, we can all have one that we broke.
I can't hear him. I'm underground. Yeah.
I don't hear a response, so I
No
take
response.
3 more shots with my hand crossbow. Reloading each time. 21, 29, and 30 for 9,
hit.
7, 7. It's 23 points of damage.
And with that, the crystal shatters. In a flash of light, an explosion of energy. Tiny little shards go flying everywhere. But that is the last of 4 elemental shards destroyed. Everything goes perfectly still. The elementals that had been summoned previously meld into the stone and become inert.
Kale, I know what you're going to say before you say it. I thought for a split second about keeping the Dow alive, but if it had anything like the powers that fishy guy did, it would have just teleported away as soon as we looked it away.
So at this point, Kale pops his head out. What happened? Did we make it?
I killed the Dow.
Okay.
Yeah, we got the crystal. It's all broken up back here.
Good teamwork, everyone.
Oh, good. That was really easy one.
So does that guy, that pick, look like that guy that was controlling the elementals in the fighting pits?
Could be. You never saw that guy.
But we did know he had a magical pick.
He did.
He did leave it behind.
So I will scoop up a shard from this crystal, toss it in the pack.
Okay.
Rejoin everybody else.
I'll pick the pick up and see if Wampum wants to take a look at it.
It's certainly a magical pick.
You ever see anything like this?
No, it'd be big though.
Yeah.
Kale, if you want to identify that, I'll identify the bag that we received from the Dow.
Sure.
So I'll ask Lafcadio. Lafcadio, please hold out that bag.
Here you go,
to
mate.
us, and I will
You see a
pass it.
bag that has far too many gems in it than could be possible from the outside. You look inside, it looks bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. You cast Identify, and sure enough, it's a bag of holding filled with gems.
All right.
Likewise, I will cast Identify. Not as a ritual, I'll burn the first soul slot. I don't care.
Okay.
Big spender.
I'm flush. I'm flush with spell slots now, baby. But yeah, so I identify the pick.
You immediately gain a sense of recollection and almost familiarity as you identify the pick, remembering the last item you had identified being the water elemental's trident. This seems to have the same sort of power emanating from it. It is a war pick, magical war pick, called Iron Fang. Requires attunement. It's a +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls you make with the weapon. Whenever you hit with it, the target takes an extra 1d8 thunder damage. While holding and attuned to Iron Fang, you can speak Terran fluently. You have resistance to acid damage. You have tremor sense out to a range of 60 feet. You can sense the presence of precious metals and stones within 60 feet of you, but not their exact location. And you can cast Dominate Monster on an Earth Elemental once per day.
Dang. Sounds good.
Yep.
So,
So what's it do?
it does all sorts of stuff. This is actually another legendary elemental weapon. I would say it belongs in a museum, but I already checked, and they don't have any of those here. So, might as well take it.
Might as well.
Yeah, I guess.
So Nas, you want a war pick?
Yes.
Take it, girl. Take it.
Woo!
I mean, it's not a glaive.
You have a war pick.
Picks are great though. They're also very functional for other reasons.
Okay. Yep, just know that, like any other magical item, you have to take the time to attune to it.
So, are there like lots of diamonds around here?
There are no diamonds around this particular area, as they had all been mined and put inside the bag that you're already holding.
Hooray.
I'm still leery about that bag. Like, sure, there's lots of gems in it, but what if there's also something else? Like, some sort of incriminating evidence planted to make it seem like whoever is carrying the bag committed this other crime. Can we empty it out just to make sure there's nothing else in there?
If you could dump it in kind of a 5-foot area, if you can. A 5-foot square area.
That's an odd request, but sure, I'll do that.
Nos, Iron Fang has been added to your character sheet on D&D Beyond.
Thank you.
Okay. There we go. All right, so you empty the bag, and a whole horde of diamonds and precious gems drop. It is 500 pounds. Like, it was full to the brim. It's got diamonds, it's got rubies, sapphires, it has emeralds mixed in. You'd have to get each individual item appraised. They're different. It's an assortment of gems of different clarities, different rarities, and different value by itself, just by the cuts that it naturally grew in. But certainly quite valuable, and only got those gems in. They genuinely wanted you to just leave it alone. Thought maybe you'd take the pay.
Was there like also a murder weapon or anything like that? Just like trying to plant something on us?
Yeah, let's
Let's
like
say it's
scoop
all over
up
the
his
inside.
ashes and melt into the stone and kind of leave it somewhere.
Nope, no murder weapon. Nothing.
Severed head.
Just
All right.
the gems.
Or swoop all the gems back in.
A whole load of gems that are cleared for release.
So he claimed.
That
Great,
Nuggets said though that we can still get more as much as we can carry. We have a whole another bag of holding.
And a pick.
And you know how to find them.
If you attune to it, you'd be able to find the location of precious gems.
Don't think I'm
Metals.
gonna attune to it right now because I've got the bracers of defense. I've got my glaive, which I assume is an attunement. That's got to be. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I've got the winged boots. So I will keep the loadout that I have presently.
Okay. Yes, so we can walk back if you guys want, or I suppose we have many means to teleport.
Yes,
to the
but
city.
we don't want to teleport out of here until we've had these gems cleared, correct?
Can we also save some slaves?
I mean, with our newfound funds, once things have been released to us, no doubt.
We have to go visit a particular person as well.
Indeed. Lafcadio, we may need your assistance for this, as well as you, Kale. They told us to collect tomorrow on our winnings. I'm sorry, Nos, but only one of the lizard men lived.
Should have been there.
When in all of our eavesdropping, have we and investigations, have we heard of any particularly corrupt Dao or any people in the city that, if anything terrible happened to them, it would be morally on the plus side?
All Dao are evil. It's
But
just
is there
the
like
level to which point at which they are evil.
is the one that's really spiking the meter? Like, oh man, that guy's really bad. Have we heard of one anyway?
Not that you've heard of.
There's the guy that's fixing the arena fights. That's about it.
Are we are we thinking it was that guy we just killed? Is he the pick?
It's possible.
We should probably not have that out in open view when we go back.
Put it under my cloak.
It'll also shrink down to be an appropriate size for Nos once she's spent more than a minute holding it.
On top of that, perhaps we can help Kale with his holy quest of sorts with the plane of water. Any slaves we free, we could bring to the plane of water to populate it.
Well, it's probably up to them where they want to go.
I mean, I'm sure they don't want to stay here, and anywhere is better than being a slave. They can take what they get.
Well, if the point is that we're setting them free, then they should be allowed to make their own decisions.
They will be free.
Not if we lock them up in the plane of water.
I'm sure that it is an upgrade from their current living situations.
It's only been like a day or two since we left the plane of water, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's unlikely that the Harpers have done what they need to do to get all the people out. So
On top of that, we do have to return to Luskin to retrieve our boat.
Well, we've got things to do. That's for sure. We definitely want to head back to the city, so we aren't criminals. And we got to take care of the White Hand back on the material plane.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if we can, I feel like we can do something about like a whole bunch of slaves. Maybe when we get back there, we can find some more opportunities to insert ourselves in what's going on in that city.
Indeed.
Yes, but I just want to caution those of you who may have good intentions in wanting to free as many slaves as possible. There's no way we're going to change the entire culture of the City of Jewels while we're here. I mean, that would be a crazy difficult undertaking, and we still have things that we have to take care of. But
I agree. That was never the intention. The intention was to simply at least save one life. One life matters.
Of course. I'm into it.
All right, I'm going to take
So
out
walking back to the city isn't going to take very long. You can just turn around, and you've still got plenty of time on the orb of the Stein Ruin Blessing, so you can all make your way back to the city without any trouble.
Would we have time to take a short rest?
If you'd like to take one, sure.
Yeah, I'd like to recover some spell slots.
Everyone else up for a short rest?
Yeah, that's true.
Good, so.
Let's see. I will recover a 4th level and a 3rd level and 2 first levels.
I will recover 1 6th level spell.
Okay.
No, so I got the impression, not obviously the idea that we want to save folks, and you were willing to put yourself out there into the arena. Outside of this laudable idea, do you have an interest in testing your might against the elementals in this city?
I just did. Like I win.
I mean, in an atmosphere where you can have an audience and be rewarded for your efforts, even more so than you have been.
I think at this point, I think I'd rather focus on saving people. If I were to step into the ring, it would be to save people, at least another night. And instead of doing that, perhaps we can save people for the rest of their lives. So at
Sure.
this point, the priorities have changed a little bit. Whereas before, yes, they were the way you say it, but it's changed.
Very good. All right, after a short rest, I'm ready to hit
Okay.
it.
Let's go.
You'll get back to the city, and while you're there, I'd like you all to make a perception check.
26 for Wampum.
22
18.
for Taslin.
13.
Got another
Okay.
one.
All right, so everyone but Kale and Nos do notice, as you guys are looking into the city, that there is a little bit of a commotion going on. All future fights in the arena have been cancelled without notice, and no one will explain why. There's a bit of a commotion. People from the material plane are being sent back home.
Including all the slaves?
They're taking their slaves with them. Would you investigate to try and find out why?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I know one.
I would like to investigate with a 24.
I mean, yeah, we're rolling investigation.
Yeah,
for
roll
people.
investigation.
So,
Or persuasion if you and deception, like charisma skills, could work to try and get you the information.
can I add guidance?
Yeah, go ahead.
That was card. That's still one. So, math, 32.
32. Taslin, what did you get?
I got a 24.
24. Okay. You guys will learn that the thing that kind of sparked it was the bookie disappeared. He ran off with your 280 gold. And the Ishwaru family seem to have decided the fighting needs to just stop for the time being while they investigate the missing bookie.
I'm gonna look to Wampum. We've got to find him, get our money back.
Aye.
Did you? Well, I don't care. I don't care about your
Yeah.
money.
I didn't think you would.
Nope.
Yeah, I get the feeling Kale doesn't care much.
But because the pits have been closed, the only people that remain here are those that intend to be here for the mining efforts, which is quite a few people, but not nearly as many as we're gathering for the fighting pits. So you'll watch as pieces of the city walls will turn into gates that people can then just pass through and get out to the material plane. There is a mass exodus of non-earth elemental folk that as they're all just leaving this place, going to different places.
Well, look, we got a way back to home.
Well, we have all sorts of ways back to home, and I'm all
Yeah.
for just leaving right now with everybody else. But I thought maybe you guys would like to have your jewels appraised.
I
Let's
don't think it much matters now.
Well, I don't want them to come hunting for us. So,
Indeed.
not that they needed to be appraised, but I just want them blessed.
Okay.
But
So you'll go back and find Kalen Nurgak.
I will, but I will also mention, mates, what is it possible? As like, you might not even know if it's possible, but I'd like to know if we can figure out like the names of the, like, are there companies that bring these slaves in, so that we can track them down on the material plane and shut them down? Like, I don't know where they might keep that information, but I just wanted to open that up as a possible thing for us to look into.
I'd be interested in looking into that.
Sure, I'm sure the Nurgag family would probably know about it, as they deal with a lot of different companies that bring in slaves to do mining.
Indeed.
Right. Well, then I'll have a chat with Mr. Nugget.
Okay. He's in the process of trying to deal with the fact that everyone wants to leave. So he's very busy. You wait in line, you get your moment, and in the time that you spend watching him, you'll be able to watch that he does actually perform a little ritual over the gems that are presented to him, and then they walk out with them. And so eventually it'll come to you. You can slide on into his chair, into his booth. Hey,
Mate!
it's been I was quick. You'll be gone a couple hours.
Yeah, I wanted to let you know we have found this crystal way out in the west, and that was what was causing all the problems. So we destroyed that crystal, and everything seems to be on level now.
Let me check. He'll slide documents aside, revealing the map, revealing the area where there was the crystal west of the city, and he'll start drawing on the map. And you'll watch as the tunnels do shift. Oh, hey. Well, guess it worked.
So you can make tunnels just by drawing lines on the map?
Yep.
That's pretty neat.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's why I am in charge. So, you found yourself a bunch of gems, probably, and that's why you're back here.
And because you're in charge, I wanted to ask you about, like we have mining interests, but we're also concerned with the competitors, and we'd like to have some competitive advantage against the folks that are also operating down here. What do you know about these other folks that are coming down here? You know, Ganassi the Dow.
Excuse me. Well, what kind of stuff you looking to know? I mean, there's a lot of different people that come down here, a lot of people that want a little bit of discretion when it comes to what they're doing.
Well, I want to compare the operation that my masters are running to what they're doing, so that we know that we're doing everything we can. We're squeezing the most out of our slaves. We want to know their margins, that type of thing. Obviously, you wouldn't know all that, but you might know the names of the companies that are coming and going. What do you know about those
Roll a
guys?
persuasion check. Or deception, actually, because you're lying to him. Roll a deception check.
Right. 25.
All right. Well, most of these people are just families that bring their own workers. So it's a lot of like drow house families and a couple people from some of the major cities. They bring their own workers, and we try not to ask too many questions about the situation of their workers. There are a few organizations that do run a very tight shift when it comes to their slaves, and I've always been quite impressed by them.
Right.
Their capability to keep these slaves in line and make sure that the slaves almost even want to work for them. I mean, that level of indoctrination is something to aspire to,
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Well, a couple groups that do kind of stand out in mind that if you head back to the material plane, you're going to want to look up. Let me check through my notes here. All right. There's the Tinnerell Company, based in Gracklestug. You know where Gracklestug is? Gracklestug.
Where is that?
It's somewhere by a big lake underground. I
Right.
like these guys. They like being underground. It feels good. I've always liked them. I'd recommend going to check them out.
Right.
The Tinnerell group.
Tinnerell and
Other
Gracklestug.
than that, there's the Elvel, a group of surface drow.
That's interesting.
And,
Usually the drow that make their way on the surface are generally not the slavey type, as I'm learning.
Yeah,
What do you know about
from
these
what
folks?
from what I've heard, that's it's become general consensus that if you see a drow on the surface, they're fine. And so now, the drow have started doing stuff on the surface, and they've been fine. No one's bothering them. Everyone thinks they're good people. It's rather clever, really. Propagate that idea that it's only the Underdark drow that are evil, and suddenly you can do whatever you want on the surface.
It is pretty clever.
Again, very good people. I like them. Stick around somewhere in the east. Not sure where. Let's see. There's the White Hand. Yeah. They bring a lot of people in. They have done for a good couple of years. They've been getting bigger and stronger in their influence. Haven't seen them in a couple of days, but yeah, they're pretty good. Based in a place called Evernight.
Evernight?
Yeah.
I've heard of that place.
Yeah.
Tasman
Big
has
city.
that 10,000-mile yard stare right now.
Well,
Where's
what else?
Where's the Evil based out of?
Elvel, somewhere on the eastern coast. There's some up in the mountains. I don't know too much about that.
On the material plane?
Yeah.
In Babir, Tariel?
Could be on the Dragon Coast.
Could be.
Sword Coast?
Again, I don't ask too many questions about them. All
But-
I know is that they're based in an area just east of the mountains, kind of a deserty kind of land.
So this White Hand operation
Yeah.
in the Evernight. So, because I've always wondered, like, who would stick around in the Shadowfell? It seems like not a place one would stick around, let alone base your operations out of. What else do you know about these White Hand folks? They sound very interesting.
All I know is they really, really enjoy their secrecy. In fact, that's why they're there. I mean, who goes to the Shadowfell regularly and willingly? No one. So
You know,
they've taken over the city and they run it pretty well.
Did you hear about that shady bet taker? One of them Shadowfell types?
You know? Yeah. I heard he ran off. I wonder if he's connected. Wonder where he ran off to.
You know if he left any personal effects behind? Maybe even a
Well,
heart
he was
somewhere?
he was employed by the Ishuaru family.
Mhm. Okay. I mean, do you know if they put him up somewhere? Was he living in a place?
Again, I don't know what they do. They do their own thing.
Okay.
You want to find that out, you got to talk to the Ishtuarus.
I would like to insight check this guy.
Go ahead and insight check.
That's fine. 22.
He knows more than he's letting on. But every time, with the fact that he keeps saying people prefer their privacy, it just indicates that there's some information that he won't share, even as charismatic as Lafcadio is.
Okay. Just curious.
Well, did you find stuff? That's the important thing. Let's take a look at your find.
I'll take out the bag and show them what I got.
Wow. You said you weren't actually going out to mine yet. You were just going to go check out the spaces. How did you get all of this? This is a lot more than 5 people could collect quickly.
So do I have any idea whether or not divulging the original owner of these gems would be a bad thing?
You have no idea. It's possible there is some sort of grudge between the families, And if the person that had them was of a different family, it's possible that it would be fine. However, if they were working together for any particular reason, then it wouldn't be fine. So, you don't know.
Well, the one that crystal we found?
Yep.
Wampum, as this conversation is going on, Wampum is going to get ready to use his axe if things go awry.
So does that mean you're drawing your axe and getting ready to throw it?
Nope, I am putting my hand on it on my hip.
Okay. All right. Oh no, did we lose Lafcadio?
Oh no. So at the mention of Evernight, Taslin's got like this glazed over look in his face. He's not very happy about it. And he just kind of tightens his robes and kind of takes a step back.
Yep.
Nobody's happy about it. That place sucks.
Of course it does. All right. No, you don't really know too much either way.
So that crystal was being protected by someone. He tried to buy us off when we found him. So we just took what he had, and in the course of destroying the crystal, we also killed him.
Oh, well, don't say any more. I don't want to know. Let me take a look at your crystals. Let me make sure they're clean. He'll pick up each of them and start waving his hands. Yeah, well, they were clean before before they came here. That narrows down the list of people that you could have just killed, so, yeah.
Who was that, by the way?
It's probably best you don't know or stick around too long. If word gets out you had a falling out with one of us, adverse effects might start happening.
Well, look, we're a bunch of tough people, and you tell them if they got a problem, they can go find the Triton, Doug Dimmadome. Because that's who I really am. That's my real name.
Roll a deception check. Doug Dimmadome. I've heard of Doug Dimmadome.
Owner of the
Dimsdale Dimmadome?
Dimdome.
And he's probably heard of his son, Dale Dimmadome.
What was I doing? Deception? 19.
Deception. 19. Okay. All right. I don't know why you'd want me to tell them who it was, but all right.
I'll just sweep all those gems back into the bag.
All right. Take the bag. And, yeah, it's probably best you get on your way, you know.
Have you noticed that in your vast mining experience, where did the best slaves come from, for mine work?
Oh, best slaves? You want someone strong without wit. So, you probably want to get yourself some of them mountain barbarians.
Probably dwarves, mostly.
Dwarves would be good, yeah. But dwarves can sometimes be trouble. I'd only go with a dwarf unless you really need to. No offense, sir. Everything's fine. But if you're on the material plane, I'd say there's a bunch of mountains north. Just before you get to a real snowy place, real cold place. I don't like the cold. Stay on the warm side. And there's a bunch of barbarians around there. Go grab yourself some of them.
So the folks who are sticking around and continuing to mine, like, do they deposit their slaves here, or do they bring them back? Or, like, I go mine, and then I go back up to the material plane and sleep and then come back? Or do they have, like, places where they keep their slaves?
Oh, they tend to stay with their slaves. They send a taskmaster and a couple people to watch over them. They take up residence in some of the upper rooms, upper quarters.
So just because I'm interested in getting the best types of slaves, do you mind, like, if I take a look at those slaves up there, just so I can get a good look and idea of what I'm looking for when I do my own recruitment?
I'm sorry, I can't authorize that kind of thing. I only deal with the actual mining efforts. You want to meet someone else's slaves? Then you can go take it up with them. In fact, the Elval family have some folk up. You want to go speak to the Drow? You can talk to them and get to know their slaves. But I can't give any sort of authorization or let you do any of that.
I wouldn't want to put you in an awkward situation, not at all. But where do I find these Elval folk?
Go up out there on the eastern side of the city. You'll have to go up 3 flights of stairs. They've taken up a private residence somewhere near the top. All right.
Eastern side of the city, private residence near the top.
You'll notice them, Drow. They like to keep a lookout. They'll probably see you before you see them.
And if we wanted to get a room, was it a good place that you'd recommend?
Well, do you need a room?
I think we're going to
be
stick
here
around
for a while.
just for another day.
All right. Well, I can give you residence as part of the mining efforts. I can give you a spot. There's an open room on the west side, 2nd floor, 5 spaces to the south.
I wouldn't want to put you out, mate. I actually want to, put back a couple cold ones and listen to some music maybe. So I got the impression that there's a kind of like entertainment type of vibe that we passed through earlier. Is there like one place you'd recommend?
Well, there's only one place to really go and do that kind of thing if you want. And then you can just go there and go enjoy it.
Well,
But everybody's leaving right now, though.
Well, the tourists are leaving. People, taskmasters like to still enjoy themselves.
so is there just one bar? Or are there many bars?
This is just a tavern. This is where people just kind of congregate and relax and socialize around their own talk. You can get some drinks here. There are a couple. There's a couple other spots you can go to. There's the Herbalist, and then there's the brothel, and that's pretty much it.
So is this your bar? Or do you just office
No,
out here?
I just work in here. This is where people come to go and talk, so I talk. All right. Now, as you can see, I do have a lot of people that need to cash out before they head on home.
Right. Well, mate, you've been fantastic, and I hope something.
Okay.
And then I leave.
Thanks. All right. As our heroes take their winnings back to do whatever they're doing, still on the Earth Elemental Plane, we will end our session there. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Next session, we will probably leave the Earth Elemental Plane, depending on what the party wants to do here. So join us next time. Good night.
Thanks, everybody.